Fresh Time Market, healthy living for less. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now at Tom Roush Lincoln, get a 2025 Lincoln Corsair for $4,000 off plus 0% APR. 2025 Lincoln Aviator for $5,000 off plus 0%. Or 2025 Lincoln Nautilus for $4,500 off. Also 0% APR. So come get that new Lincoln at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fisher.
Corsair MSRP 51,720. Aviator MSRP 72,225. Nautilus MSRP 71,60. 0% APR for 48 months on qualifying Lincolns. Good through 12/1/2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Guys, you've heard of TRT, but you have no idea what testosterone can do for you. Once you start treatment, you'll wish you'd done it sooner.
Now you can take the TRT test free at Synergen X and the Low T Center. Walk in before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com.
WIBC cares, and if you or someone you care about needs food assistance, we have resources for you, including food distribution locations with an interactive map. Also, learn how you can make a difference for friends and neighbors in need, all at WIBC.com.
It's B Windows' biggest sale of the year. Get up to 68% off, plus no interest, no payments for 24 months. Call now or go to bwindow.com.
Trust me.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Increasing clouds for your Monday. Quiet and seasonable. Should be a nice day. Today's high 54. Cloudy skies, showers arriving after midnight tonight. A low down to 40. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey. 93 WIBC.
And I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 9:06. Time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So our president, and more importantly, our governor, have a serious problem with not just listening, but they're totally disconnected from where people are in this country right now. Like, I thought about this all weekend. By the way, it's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. And obviously, the huge news that came out on Friday. This is fascinating. So, I was set to do an interview with a writer for CNN. He was doing a story on redistricting, and we'd already set up the interview, and I was supposed to talk to him at 4 o'clock. And he calls at 4 o'clock, and he goes, well, I guess the story all just changed,
It's
right?
very fluid.
And I talked to this guy for about, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And he was just, he said, look, follow you on Twitter. No, you've got an interesting perspective on this. You're very conservative, and yet you have this view that is totally at odds with, with the governor and obviously the president. And one of the things that is so clear about where Governor Braun, this like obsession from the governor, and look, Trump's his own thing. We'll get to that in a little bit. But so you just take Trump out of the equation for now, because Trump is totally disconnected with what's going on in this country right now, and his priorities are just completely out of whack. The Marjorie Taylor Greene, like all of this stuff is just totally ridiculous. But if we focus on our governor, you have a governor that he is now, because he will not listen, and by not listening, he's not meeting the people where they're at, he is on the verge of being completely donezo for the remaining 3 years of his governorship, and he will be primaried and resoundingly defeated. Like, Todd Rokita is probably starting the Rokita for Governor campaign as we speak.
Yeah, he's the happiest guy in the room from all of this.
Am I wrong on this? I mean, like, it is so bizarre that and this is what has been fascinating to me throughout this whole thing. So real quick, I'm sure everybody's aware of this, but if you're not, Rod Bray, the pro tem of the Senate, the leader in the Senate, on Friday afternoon came down and said, we are not doing redistricting. Not only do we not have the votes, it essentially said, my guys are, I'm not going to put my guys through this. We're not even showing up for this December 1st powwow that the governor had said he wanted us to do. We're done here.
Yep.
And then Braun, do you have Braun's response?
I do.
Because Braun, this is a guy who, when we were begging him to fight for us on property taxes,
he said, I still have to work with these guys for the next 3 years. So, it's veto symbolic.
Yeah, he said it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Remember, he went on Tony Katz, and because we had said, look, Mr. Governor, and I told him this at the infamous Rob Kendall, Mike Braun Last Supper over at State Party, where I begged him. I was begging him. I said, do not sign this property tax bill. It's going to be a disaster. Everyone is going to hate you. You have no allies in this. Nobody's going to look at this and go, what a great deal. Veto it. Call the special session. At worst, it fails, and then everybody goes, hey, the governor tried.
Right.
And we will be behind you, and we will support you, and everybody will say, well, at least Braun fought for us. And he could not get it in his mind. Like, I'm watching I've been around people long enough, like I can read them. I'm watching the wheels turn, and there's just nothing there. Like, he can't fathom in his world that he couldn't get a deal. And so he cuts this deal, and people are begging. They're like, no, just like veto this. Call this. And he goes on Tony Katz and goes, well, there's no point.
Right.
It's just symbolic. It doesn't mean anything. The special session wouldn't get us anywhere. Okay, if that's your standard, fine. But that's clearly not your standard on this. You are trying to move heaven and earth to make these people vote for this redistricting that the public overwhelmingly doesn't want. We've seen it in poll after poll after poll after poll. We've also seen it in these town halls, these public town halls where anybody can come and speak, and people are not coming and speaking in favor. And the average person is looking at this and going, Mr. Governor, whether it's property taxes or utility bills or the gas tax or whatever, you've had so many opportunities to fight passionately for things that would help us, and you won't do a damn thing. But this redistricting thing, which is total subservience to Trump, that's all this is about. You will not let that go. And people are now starting to hate this governor even more than they hated him before because he's totally out of touch with what's going on.
Well, with Bray saying they're not going to show up, they're not doing the special session, in a way, he's almost protecting Braun. Because if they do show up and still don't have the votes, it's going to be on record they didn't have the votes.
Yes, he was trying. Bray is oddly trying to save Braun from himself because it would go, it would fail. And what Rod Bray is doing here, I mean, it's patently obvious what he's doing. He doesn't want it. He has taken a head count of his guys when you couple it with the Democrats who are against it, and he's realized we don't have the votes. These guys, even the ones who want to do it deep down, probably aren't super passionate about it. They're just, going through the motions. Why would I subject my dudes to three more weeks of the screaming and the nonsense? And he said, I'm just not going to do that for something I don't want anyway. Now, if Bray wanted it, it'd be a different story. He'd subject them to, hot coals and he'd send Jack Bauer in there to get those votes if he wanted it. But he doesn't want it. And so he said, I'll take the heat. I'm not up for 3 years anyway. It doesn't matter what I say because I'm the boss. And so we're done here. And then Braun, do you have the tweet?
Yeah, he said, I called for our legislators to convene to ensure Hoosiers' voices in Washington, D.C. are not diluted by the Democrats' gerrymandering. Our state senators need to do the right thing and show up to vote for fair maps. Hoosiers deserve to know where their elected officials stand on important issues.
This was the thing we were begging Braun to do with property taxes. What he's doing with redistricting is exactly what I begged him to do with property taxes. And if he'd done it, he would have a lot more leeway on what he's trying to do here with redistricting because the people would say, hey, this dude's a fighter.
Right. He fought for us. Now he's fighting for them.
This is how he operates. And the idea that Braun, what is amazing to me, and there's so many different ways we're going to go with this on this show today, and we can't spend the whole show on it, even though I would love to, because there's just so much going on with this right now. The idea that Braun, who failed miserably on property taxes because he does not understand how the General Assembly works. He was in it very briefly when he voted for the largest tax increase in the history of the state. But he is he's such a Washington institutionalist at this point, and the people he brought around him are such Washington institutionalists that he doesn't understand, and it's so bizarre that he doesn't get this. The governor, when the legislature is in session in terms of actual rule making, has no power whatsoever. You have to work with these guys. You're not going to bully them into anything.
Clearly.
Look, I mean, we got tens of thousands of people call and write these lawmakers during the property tax fight. It didn't make any difference. they're going to do what they're going to do. And the fact that he learned nothing from that and is trying the same approach, like, you guys will show up to vote. You will do this. They're like, we're not doing whatever we don't want to do, and we're going to make you feel as much pain and punishment as we possibly can because you're over here trying to be Billy Badass with us.
So the lesson here, it seems that Bray has more power than Braun does.
He totally does. The legislature has always had more power than the governor. The only times they have not enacted that is, one, when Mitch Daniels was elected governor because the Republicans were in the wilderness, and they were like, look, this guy's the golden goose, man. Like, whatever he wants, we're going to do. Bosma, Long, those guys hated that, but they had to do it. And then Holcombed COVID because those lawmakers were like, we don't want any part of this. We don't understand it. We don't have the stones to stand up and do anything about it. If this guy wants to put his power pants on and have everybody hate him, then have at it. But that was an act of cowardice. That was an act of saving themselves. Save for that, in a post-Mitch Daniels era, the legislature has repeatedly said, we are in charge here. We are the captain of this ship now, and you will do as we say.
And everybody's calling them rhinos. Okay, and we're going to primary him. In 3 years? You're going to do that? Let's think about this. Bray at one point had like $7 million in his purse. So you're telling me that the RNC is going to give $10 million to primary one senator in Indiana?
Of course not.
In 3 years?
Of course not.
Oh, no, Rob, we're going to do all of them.
It's utterly ridiculous.
Okay.
All right, when we come back, we've got to read this. We'll do a dramatic reading of this tweet Trump put out. Because at this point, again, if our theme of the day is just
he called our governor lazy.
Well, he's got some accuracies in here. But it's just a disconnect, whether it's Braun or Trump. It's a disconnect of where regular people are and what is a priority to them. And it is just people are recoiling now against both of these guys because they're going, we have like 30 issues that are affecting our day-to-day existence, and you guys aren't doing anything about that, but you're obsessed with all these little, I mean, for lack of a better term, they're essentially the equivalent of a side project at work. And this tweet from Trump is fascinating. We got to read it when we come back.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Trump making a stark reversal.
93 WIBC.
Of files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
We'll see how that turns out.
But what happens next?
Outrage over high prices is extending to everyone.
Happens here.
Trump says his administration is working to make life more affordable for you.
Stay in the know.
The U.S. military's blown up another boat suspected of smuggling illegal drugs.
While you're on the go.
Another 3 were killed, 83 in total.
The effort to redraw Indiana's congressional maps has stalled.
On air, online, and on Alexa.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, the new laptop for the Office Holiday Hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
The most extraordinary thing a woman can do is let herself be human. We try to do it all, sure, but what if we're just not feeling it? Like when the fatigue hits, but you gotta bring snacks to the soccer game? Or when the laundry's piling up, but that hot flash says, too bad. We get it. Franciscan Health has care for extraordinary women who can do it all, but don't have to. Visit franciscanhealth.org/OBGYN today.
The biggest Black Friday sale ever is going on now at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Save up to $800 on top brand mattresses from Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Sealy. Indiana-made Smith Brothers of Bern is holding their factory-authorized sale with the lowest price in 2025 and 50% off all Flex Deal and Lazy Boy. Free delivery, cash discounts, interest-free financing. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Press 1 for balances. Press 2 for deposits. Press 3 to scream into the void.
We get it. These days, it's all phone menus and chatbots. But business banking doesn't have to be that way. Bank with Horizon and discover the power of real AI, advisor intelligence. Real people who answer calls, know your business, and go above and beyond to help you succeed. Get started today at horizonbank.com/business AI.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Do you remember what was happening in America? Families struggling, billions in wasteful spending. But Senator Todd Young fought back. He voted for working family tax cuts, and Senator Young voted to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse, saving taxpayers billions. So call Senator Todd Young at 202-224-5623 and thank him for supporting the Working Families Tax Cut. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Need furnace or heat pump service and want to work with a local independent dealer you can trust, like Stevenson Heating and Cooling? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Express the heartwarming message that says love is about being together. Let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be the symbol that says, I love you. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
This hour powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's diamond engagement ring store.
Okay, this tweet from Trump or Truth or whatever it is, I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
Because the governor of Indiana is getting exactly what he deserves for being a big, fat phony and a fraud. But it also is like, dude, it's bordering on ramblings of a madman at this point. I mean, it's like he's turning into the guy that when I do The Voice to read he's morphing
into
that guy.
Yeah. So he called out 2 Indiana rhino senators, as well as the governor, and he said the state's failing to move forward.
Okay, this is related to redistricting. By the way, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. All right, so I'm going to try to do the dramatic reading. This is a long one. Think I can get through it?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have confidence in
I think
you.
you're going to definitely need to fire Whitney twice, but I will do my best to orchestrate that for you. This is why we're so highly acclaimed about the radio brilliance we're about to pull off here. So for those of you who don't know, when you hear this, there's new people listening all the time. Casey, you may know this. What would it be? Soon to be 10 years ago, I interviewed the President of the United States.
Yes, you did. You are the one person on the WIBC staff who has interviewed Donald Trump.
Now, I think in fairness, Tony was at the White House for some sort of large press event, and I think Tony briefly got to talk to him as well. But, and we don't mean to say one interview is better than the other, I was sought out.
He called it a great dream.
I was sought out by the Trump people. They invited me to the hotel he was staying at. He did call it a great dream. Said he wished
all interviews could be that way.
Look, you're bragging on me now, and I hate to do this, that every interview could be just like this, and that I knew what was going on out there. And look, it's painful for me to bring up these things that were once said about me by the president. But and as a tribute to that, whenever we read Trump's social media thoughts, we play Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You" in the background, and I read them. Up until now, it was a funny look at, a caricature of the voice that I said was going on in Trump's head while his thumbs were feverishly pecking out the tweet or truth in question. But after today, this may be the actual voice, right?
Okay.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Very disappointed in Indiana State Senate Republicans, led by Rhino Senators Rod Bray and Greg Good, for not wanting to redistrict their state, allowing the United States Congress to perhaps gain 2 more Republican seats. The Democrats have done redistricting for years, often illegally. And all other appropriate Republican states have done it. Because of these two politically correct type, quote, gentlemen, and a few others, they could be depriving Republicans of a majority in the House. A very big deal. California is trying to pick up 5 seats, and Noah's complaining about that. It's weak Republicans that cause our country such problems. It's why we have crazy policies and ideas that are so bad for Americans. Good news, Casey.
Yeah, he's not done.
He kept going.
Yes.
And this is the juicy part. Also a friend of mine, Governor Mike Braun, perhaps, is not working the way he should to get the necessary votes. Considering that Mike wouldn't be governor without me. Not even close. Is disappointing. Any Republican that votes against this important redistricting, potentially having an impact on America itself, should be primaried. Indiana's a state with strong, smart, and patriotic people. They want us to see our country win and want to make America great again. Senators Bray, Good, and the others to be released to the public later this afternoon should, in all caps, do their job and do it now. If not, let's get them out of office ASAP.
Nicely done. I'd like to point out that he did not release the other names later in the afternoon, like he said he was going to.
And let's talk about the real world effect of this. By the way, Greg Good, and I'm no fan of Greg Good. He's a Todd Young butt sniffer. He was the legislative director, I think. I don't know if he still is. He's the guy that at that Clay County Lincoln Day, you remember that one? That's the one where Diego Morales came unglued on me, had the malfunction and meltdown.
I pay for India.
I paid for India. And everybody was like, why is the Secretary of State shouting at us that he pays for India? What is going on? We just came here to enjoy some chicken. Anyway, he's the guy that gave the Politburo speech, like Stalin or Saddam Hussein, where if you stopped clapping, you lost a hand. That was his introduction of Todd Young. So I'm not a fan of this guy whatsoever. But all he did was have a town hall.
A listening session, sure.
Where he's like, hey.
And he hasn't been out on the record saying which way he was going to vote either.
No. He literally said, I will make up my mind on the floor. Now, we were laughing about that. It was 70-0 spoke against the redistricting, and you're still so kind of afraid of Trump. You're like, I'll make up my mind when it's time to vote. But he did nothing wrong. He, in fact, did everything the right way, which is here's a very public event. You come, you speak, I listen. And then Trump puts this out, and the poor guy got swatted last night. For those of you who don't know, swatting is where someone calls in a fake police report or fake event to police saying, I think somebody's in danger in the home. It's designed to get the police to kick down the door. It could cause serious injury to people because the person in the home has no idea what's going on, and which means, if the cops come in thinking somebody's armed or in a psychotic state or whatever. Now, thankfully, nothing happened to this guy or his family. Hopefully the police catch who did it. But this is the real world impact of this when Trump puts stuff like this out.
Yeah, it's extremism, right? And it puts people in danger.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it definitively had something to do with this, but this is the thing that it opens the door to. Now, hopefully there'll be a full investigation. Hopefully, whoever did it will be caught. We don't know for sure that it was related to this, but I'm saying you open the door for something like that's a hell of a coincidence, isn't it, Casey?
Yeah.
That some obscure state senator has this happen shortly after Trump puts this out, and hopefully it didn't have anything to do with this. But my goodness, that is very irresponsible to do to a guy who hasn't even made up his mind.
That's right. He hasn't gone on the record either way.
All right. Now, you would think, look, when we come, I don't even know how to tease what we're about to talk about next. Somebody who's running for public office puts something out that is so...
Are you surprised?
It's just beyond ridiculous, and we have to discuss it when we come back.
All right. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Do you suffer from sore feet, back, knee, or hip pain? The Good Feet Arch Support System has helped many people find relief, like Tim.
I'm always telling my colleagues who have sore feet, this is the greatest thing. I'll even take my shoe off and show them. And I believe in the product so much. When you have something that works, you kind of want to share it with people. It worked for me, maybe it can work for you.
Or do you wake up at night with heel pain, like Crystal?
I would wake up in the middle of the night with all kinds of pain in my heels and in my arch. So I went to the Good Feet store, and ever since then, I've been pain-free. I wear them every day. I wear them when I walk, at the gym, when I work. They're great.
Get back to walking, working, and exercising, and imagine a life without pain. No shots, no surgery, no medication. You've got nothing to lose but your pain. Stop into the Good Feet store today for a free fitting and test walk. We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood, just off the 65.
Thanks to the Good Feet store. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Chances for rain in your forecast. Partly cloudy and 32 degrees in downtown Indy with highs today in the low 50s. I'm John Herrick. This report is brought to you by Gutter Helmet. Here's what's trending at 9:31. Rain's supposed to arrive across Indiana tomorrow morning.
So we have rain coming in Tuesday, drying out for Wednesday, and then starting on Thursday we have another system coming in, bringing more widespread rain to the region, and that's going to persist into Friday. So it looks like by the weekend we are drying out a little bit.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis does not expect any severe weather or high wind gusts, but he says this rain will help alleviate some of the drought conditions. Some places will also get temperatures in the 80s for most of this week across the nation, with record highs possible through Thursday. Cities like Abilene, Texas could get their warmest day in November since 1938. And the FAA has lifted its flight reduction order at airports nationwide. A reduction in flights at dozens of major airports began a week ago to help address both fatigue and staffing issues among air traffic controllers during the government shutdown. The FAA says they want to get airport staff everywhere ready for busy Thanksgiving travel. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. The Dow Jones Industrial Average so far down today 103 points to 47,043. The S&P 500 down 22 points to 6711. And the NASDAQ is off 70 points to 22,830. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Senator Jim Banks is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Senator Jim Banks at 202-224-4814 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Pat Sullivan here. I've got a fall lifesaver for you, Gutter Helmet. You know what fall means in Indiana? Leaves, piles of them. And if you've got gutters, you've got a problem, unless you've got Gutter Helmet like I do. I haven't cleaned my gutters in years. Why? Because Gutter Helmet does the dirty work for me. This isn't just a cover. It's a patented system that allows water to flow through while the debris slides off, and your gutters stay clear. No more ladders, no more scooping out soggy gunk. Just peace of mind. Thousands thousands of Central Indiana homeowners have already made the switch. Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection since 1981. And it's been protecting my home every time it rains. And right now, they're offering a 15% discount plus 12 months no-interest financing. But don't wait. This deal ends November 30th. Call 800-5HELMET for your free no-pressure estimate. That's 800-5HELMET or visit gutterhelmetindy.com and never clean your gutters again.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, is it true?
What's that?
Tire Discounters is offering up to $200 off sets of Goodyear tires?
Absolutely.
Plus free alignment and a full synthetic oil change?
You got it.
I'm not one to exaggerate, but that may be the best deal in the history of the world.
But free would be better.
Mike, don't toy with me.
Through the holidays, every day we're open, someone will get their money back on 4 tires.
But I...
Just breathe, Phantom. Breathe.
No purchase necessary and 12/31/25. Visit website.
Nice choice, Kevin.
I did see this was, by the way, the other day was the 54th anniversary of the Zoso album.
Really?
That's the Led Zeppelin, what is it, 4, right? Which is Stairway to Heaven. It doesn't even have a name. It's became known as Zoso, right?
Yeah.
But the Old Man album or whatever, and that was 1971. The anniversary was just not all that long ago.
Yeah. Which means I've been rocking out to Led Zeppelin my whole life.
Yeah, you were 23 when that album came out.
That's
Now
right.
look at you. You're still doing very well. Okay, so we got to talk about this because I want this to believe it was humor from this person.
But you're not sure?
No, not only am I not sure, I'm heavily leaning towards it was legitimate.
Okay.
And we're going to operate from that standpoint because there's nothing in here that would lead you to believe, like there's no smiley face, there's no, laughy thing, there's no ha ha ha. There's nothing that would lead you to believe, and this person is not some satirist, like comedian. Okay. There's nothing in their background that you say, oh, they're always being funny and joking around. So I think when you give the what do they call that in a court where it's not extracurricular, but
the evidence?
The evidence, but there's a type of evidence, right? Where it's circumstantial evidence.
Okay.
Yeah, circumstantial evidence. I think we have to operate as this is being real, and it should scare the hell out of everyone. And if this is not real and this guy was being funny, then he can clarify what was actually so
funny. Needed to add a laughing emoji.
Like he's got to do better. Okay, so Wesley Bennett is this guy's name. Now, I know Wes Bennett. I knew his father. Nice enough guy. He was a member of I believe the State Board of Accounts for many years. He was most notably, or has been, a member of the IURC, which, of course, is the group that has been raising all the utility rates, right, on people left and right. And given what we're about to talk about, maybe we've seen why, because if this is indeed, like, legit, this guy has the common sense of a gnat, okay? And he is now running for State House. He has declared he is running for the State House seat that lying sack of crap Craig Haggard is abandoning, I believe, to run for the United States Congress. Hendricks County, I think it's Morgan County is in the seat, the southern part of Hendricks County, et cetera. Anyway, so the background of this. Do you remember a couple, it's been a couple months now, and I think it was after the death of Charlie Kirk, that Turning Point USA announced they were going to do some sort of halftime show to
counter-programming for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yes, maybe it was related to the not only the death of Charlie Kirk, but also this announcement that the halftime show is going to be this Bad Bunny guy.
Correct.
Who is he's controversial, right? He's a leftist, and people are outraged at the pick. And so Turning Point USA legitimately came out and said, we're going to counter-program this with some sort of halftime show of our own. Now, I'm not aware of where this thing is going to be on television. I don't think any of the major networks have offered to pick it up that I'm aware of. I don't think anybody's saying, now, correct me if I'm wrong, right, that there's been no this is going to be the actual person performing.
Yeah, so if you go to AmericanHalftimeShow.com, you've got Turning Point USA presents the All-American Halftime Show celebrating faith, family, and freedom, February 8th, 2026. And then it's TPUSA's All-American Halftime Show. Complete the form below to be the first to receive information and updates about the show. And then you can fill out your name and your email. And then it asks you what genres of music would you like to see featured. And you make your choice and then hit submit. Now, I've been looking around, and there's been a lot of names that have been thrown out. Vanity Fair said that maybe it would be Carrie Underwood, maybe Zach Bryan, maybe Snoop Dogg, maybe Morgan Wallen. You also had other names like Alan Jackson, George Strait, Trace Adkins, Brooks and Dunn, Willie Nelson.
Yeah, but realistically, it's a conservative group. My point is there's no television station that has picked this up, right? It's not like ABC is going, in order to counter-program the NBC halftime show, we're going with Turning Point USA.
Right, no. Right? I mean, I tried to find it last night, and I couldn't find anything definitively. It was all rumors, like Reddit and Facebook. And
so one of the things that has popped up with this is on the internet using AI, people have been mocking the Turning Point USA halftime because it is going to be somebody that will probably largely be seen as very disappointing to the public at large because, let's face it, a lot of people just are not going to associate with Turning Point USA, given that, that Charlie Kirk was a somewhat controversial figure, their political leaning, et cetera. And so there have been these people who have been using artificial intelligence to put out just like crazy predictions of who these people are going to be. I mean, it got so funny at one point that it was like Alf and Abe Lincoln, like they've been putting out these just utterly ridiculous, and it's been going on since October when they made this announcement.
Well, that's because they haven't announced who the official lineup is.
Because they're probably really struggling to get
still working on
people to participate.
Jason Aldean was another one.
Like
Kid Rock, Ted Nugent. Also all unconfirmed.
Yeah, well, I mean, at one point it was, it's reached a level of stupid, but they're doing this. People keep doing this because people keep sharing these things. At one point, it was like Tupac and Elvis. It was like Peyton Manning, Batman, and Michael Jackson. Like, it's just, like I said, Alf and Abe Lincoln. Like, it's gotten just utterly ridiculous, the ones people have come up with as a joke on Turning Point USA, not appearing to get a TV deal and not making an announcement of, who it is, who your person's going to be.
Yeah.
So one of these pops up, and it's always on these obscure kind of like fan websites of the band, and this person puts a picture of Jimmy Page and Robert Plant.
Sure.
Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. Obviously, Jimmy Page was the lead guitar player. Robert Plant, the vocalist of Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
They are English citizens.
Correct.
I looked it up. I see anything that they're in any way, shape, or form American citizens.
They don't have dual citizenship.
And the idea that Jimmy Page or Robert Plant would know Charlie Kirk from Charlie Chaplin is ridiculous, right? And there's this picture of these two guys, and it says, "Will you watch Turning Point USA's rival Super Bowl halftime show?" And it is this long post, which is in the exact vein of all these other posts mocking who will be the halftime show for Turning Point USA. And it says, "The love that still lights the stage, music legends Robert Plant and Jimmy Page will open the, quote, all-American halftime show, a heartfelt and patriotic event serving as a meaningful alternative to the Super Bowl 60 halftime show performance." And then it goes on to be this big post about how they're going to play.
That would be amazing.
Now, clearly, this is not happening. And any person with an IQ above 7 would realize this is not happening, the same way as Elvis is not coming back to play, the same way as Tupac is not coming back to play, the same way as Peyton Manning and Michael Jackson and Alf and the deceased corpse of Abe Lincoln are not coming back to play the Turning Point USA halftime show. This guy, Wes Bennett, who has been on the State Board of Accounts, or part of the State Board of Accounts, which is, according to his own bio that I screenshotted and sent to you from Facebook, which is in charge of editing or auditing local governments across the state, was on the IURC, which is
former commissioner, Department of Local Government Finance at the state of Indiana as well.
Yeah, right. Was it the DLGF or State Board of Accounts? It doesn't matter. Anyway, he was a part of all. Was it DLGF or the State Board of Accounts? What did I say?
DLG.
Okay, DLGF. I stand correct. It was DLGF. The local government finance, also a very important state government entity. So I stand corrected.
Former treasurer for the town of Plainfield.
Yes, I'm sorry. I confused the State Board of Accounts and the DLGF. Anyway, he still very important government entity, has a very vital role in our state government. He was on the IURC. He lists that in his bio, correct? Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. He takes this post, which is clearly satire. It's been going on for months, and his response to retweeting this is, I'm watching for sure.
Well, I'd watch too if it were going to be that.
Now, what do I make of this, Casey? Because maybe, but there's nothing on this guy's account when you look at it. There's maybe. There's like nothing on his account where you'd go, man, this guy's always cracking jokes. He's always having fun. He's always laughing at the insane. Like, there's none of this. So I guess it's possible that this is done in jest, but nothing that would lead you to believe this.
He really thinks this is happening.
I think the average person see this thinks this guy really thinks this is going down. And this is a person that wants to be one of the 150 most powerful people in our state, was incredibly powerful on the IURC, and as you said, with the DLGF, had a very important role in state government.
And also apparently following the Led Zeppelin fan page on Facebook.
How would that even come into his orbit? That's a great question. Because this is it's not even like the official Led Zeppelin fan.
No. It's a fan page. That's who he's following.
So what do I make of this?
And he's engaging with it.
What do I do with this?
I'm watching for sure. I mean, if they do get Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, I'd watch that. I don't know. Well, they haven't announced any of the artists. And I assume you're going to have to stream it on YouTube or something.
Oh, my gosh. Look, if I'm wrong and Jimmy Page and Robert Plant play at the Turning Point USA halftime show, I will donate $100 to Wesley Bennett's State House campaign.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
You should totally do that. Yeah. Well, we'll find out.
And I will issue a very public apology on these airwaves, along with because there's the same chance of those two guys as Alf and the corpse of Abe Lincoln and Tupac and Elvis.
Now, what we do know is that Bad Bunny has been confirmed to perform at the official Super Bowl halftime show. That's going to take place February 8th. It's going to be held at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California.
Somebody said in the YouTube chat, but what if you're wrong, Rob? That's happened before.
Yeah.
Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. Okay, real quick, and I know we got to get to a break. What was it? 1980 was when John Bonham died, the drummer of Led Zeppelin. And in 1980, there was like, what do we do with Led Zeppelin? And I believe it was Jimmy Page said, Led Zeppelin died with John Bonham. And I believe one time since 1980, maybe two or three, Led Zeppelin the three remaining members of Led Zeppelin have gotten back together. Certainly in full concert, I believe there's only been one or two times. They may have done some, one-off appearance, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, whatever. But I'm saying in terms of we're here as Led Zeppelin doing this concert, there's only been a handful of times they have gotten back together. I believe the most recent was 2007, again, for a one-off event with the opening of the O2 Arena in London. And Robert Page and Jimmy Plant have at various times toured together. I saw them. In fact, the first concert I ever went to was with my old man at the old Market Square Arena in 1997. But it has been, I believe, years since they have collaborated together in any shape, form, or fashion. So again, if Robert Plant and Jimmy Page play the Turning Point USA halftime show together, I will donate $100 to Wesley Bennett's campaign for State House and issue a public apology.
How old is Robert Plant?
Okay, he is younger than Jimmy Page. I will say Robert Plant, let's see, I will say he is 70, Price is Right rules. I will say he is 70, in fact, I will probably get this pretty close. I will say he is 76 years old.
Kevin, you went in on this? How old is Robert Plant?
I'm going to guess 77.
Oh, Kevin's correct.
He's 77, okay.
77. August 20th is his birthday.
Because I know he was in his late 40s when I saw him in the late 90s. Jimmy Page has got to be 80. Is that right?
Well, here, I'll look really
Jimmy
quick.
Page has got to be 80 years old.
Jimmy Page, age. It's a rhyme. 81.
81. Okay,
yeah.
Very good.
His birthday is January 9th, by the way.
All right. Anyway, so I don't know if that's incorrect. And that guy's like, oh, it's clearly humor. You got to do better at your humor, dude.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. More fallout from the lack of a special session in Indiana. Guy Relford joins us for Monday Gun Day. We'll talk this afternoon.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi?
And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Mark Deedle. You know, the Indianapolis real estate market is strong, but it's not easy. Now is a good time to sell only if you hire a real estate team that knows how to aggressively market your home, like Mark Deedle Realty. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Michael in Speedway had to say about working with Mark Deedle. I loved my Speedway home, and I raised my family there, but it was time to sell and downsize. I met with the Mark Deedle team, and they explained their amazing marketing plan, and I was convinced. Just like the Speedway, things moved fast from there. After just 3 days on the market, I accepted an offer of $11,000 over asking price. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Deedle 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on.
Right now at Tom Roush Lincoln, get a 2025 Lincoln Corsair for $4,000 off plus 0% APR. 2025 Lincoln Aviator from $5,000 off plus 0%. Or 2025 Lincoln Nautilus for $4,500 off, also 0% APR. So come get that new Lincoln at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fisher.
Corsair MSRP 51,720. Aviator MSRP 72,225. Nautilus MSRP 71,660. 0% APR for 48 months on qualifying Lincolns. Good through 12/1/2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text EDGE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text EDGE to 42424. That's EDGE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Head online to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra Thursday, December 4th in Cambridge Fieldhouse.
This story's kind of unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola is apparently so hard up for cash, he's like selling his stuff.
Well, he put all of his money into a movie that didn't perform.
This is why you always spend other people's money.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about this. He invested over $100 million of his own money into this movie, and it was in theaters, and he's not going to have it streamed because he says this movie needs to be seen on the big screen. Well, okay, that may be part of the reason why you're out so much money. But Coppola, I mean, the 70s and 80s were his big moment, right, for movies, even the 90s. But he really hasn't made a big movie in 25 years.
Yeah, and if you're so broke you're having to sell your merch or sell your stuff. Wouldn't you be like put it on every streaming platform imaginable?
Right.
Please give me $9.
Exactly.
Thank you.
He has come out publicly and said that he's broke after he invested all of his money into this one film. What is it? It's called Megalopolis?
Well, hard to believe Megalopolis didn't do better at the box office.
Earned only $14 million worldwide.
It sounds like some...
He put $100 million into it.
Megalopolis. That sounds like a movie in a sitcom that some character would be watching. The spooky horror movie of the week. Oh, what are you watching? I know we're watching Megalopolis. Except this guy legit put $100 million into it?
$100 million into it. And it only made $14 million back. So, yeah, he's selling, 7 of his high-end watches? Good thing he had those watches.
What's your highest-end watch? What do you got?
I don't wear watches.
Ever?
No, not really.
Huh.
So, I don't have any high-end watches.
Remember in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where John Candy's got the Casio? He's trying to sell it to the guy.
Right.
Or give it to the guy.
Swatch watch.
All right,
that was my highest end watch.
Into the redistricting when we come back.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
You know that moment, right before the relatives arrive, when you suddenly see every spot, stain, and pet hair in the house. Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and I'm here to tell you, don't DIY it before Thanksgiving. Leave it to the cleaning heroes at Zero Res. They'll make your carpets, upholstery, and even your air ducts shine without soap, residue, or harsh chemicals. Right now, get 3 rooms cleaned starting at $129 and take $50 off air duct cleaning. That's how you get your home looking and smelling like you meant to plan ahead. With over 5,100 Google reviews and a 4.9 rating, you can trust Zero Res to get it right the first time. So before Aunt Terry starts helping with the vacuum, call the pros. 317-388-5141 or ZeroResIndy.com, because nothing says welcome home like carpets so clean you could eat your pie off of them. But please don't. Zero Res, forward or backward, it spells the same, and it spells clean. 317-388-5141 or ZeroResIndy.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, the new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show. When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun, brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Don't wait until Gold Friday. Get your tickets today.
Siakam versus Sims. He'll challenge Sims, and he'll shoot from the foul line and score.
Get the best ticket prices of the season with your Indiana Pacers Gold Friday deals presented by KeyBank. This week, get tickets starting at just $5 for the Hornets game on Wednesday and the Pistons game next Monday.
What is happening here?
Get your tickets at Pacers.com/Gold Friday. That's Pacers.com/Gold Friday.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Senator Jim Banks is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Senator Jim Banks at 202-224-4814 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, the latest on the rain chances for Indiana this week. Crashes in both Greenwood and Plainfield this morning, what police know about them so far, and what lawmakers are being told about the upcoming legislative session. Those stories and more after Fox News on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 10 o'clock.
President Trump says there's nothing to hide. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Ahead of a House vote expected tomorrow he now supports, related to the Jeffrey Epstein scheme, sex trafficking underage girls. House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox
President Trump has clean hands. He's not worried about it. I talk to him all the time. He has nothing to do with this.
The president's been telling Republicans not to fall into a Democrat trap, but Fox's Mark Meredith of the White House says it's
a big U-turn for President Trump. He is now encouraging House Republicans to vote this upcoming bill in the House, which would basically compel the Department of Justice to release its files on the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who died in prison back in 2019. The post on Truth Social overnight, the president saying House Republicans should vote to release the files because we have nothing to hide and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetuated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party.
The U.S. military blew up another boat off the Venezuelan coast, the 21st strike in the operation targeting illegal drug trafficking. 3 more suspected smugglers killed, bringing the total number to 83. But President Trump told reporters last night there could be talks with the Venezuelan dictator who's wanted in the U.S.
We may be having some discussions with Maduro, and we'll see how that turns out.
A record number of Americans are planning to travel for Thanksgiving next week. AAA estimates nearly 82 million. Most will drive, but 6 million plan to take flights. As air travel gets back to normal, the FAA lifted all restrictions this morning.
The restrictions impacted 40 major U.S. airports. FAA leaders say the restrictions were needed to deal with the impacts of the government shutdown, including a shortage of air traffic controllers and TSA agents.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. A police officer is hospitalized in New York City after being shot this morning, responding to the scene of a deadly shooting in Brooklyn. Luckily, the officer only grazed. In stable condition, the gunman fled. Police in New York City also keep searching for whoever shot an NFL player, critically injuring Chris Boyd of the Jets over the weekend. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A week where the umbrella will likely be needed. Partly cloudy and 40 degrees in the Circle City. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Multiple rounds of rain are supposed to fall this week across Indiana.
Yeah, the drought is still a factor. Looks like at the moment, with this first round of rain on Tuesday, Indiana can be expecting anywhere between like 1/3 of an inch and 3/4. That's currently what we have in the forecast.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says he does not see any chances for snow this week, but that might change next week. A crash shut down I-69 southbound near the Smith Valley Road exit this morning in Greenwood. Car broke down along the interstate and another southbound vehicle hit it. The person in this disabled car was taken to IU Health Methodist Hospital in serious condition. The driver in the other vehicle did not need to go to a hospital. Also, an accident in Plainfield where a semi carrying 38,000 pounds of glass overturned on I-70. Debris from both crashes has since been cleaned up. Indiana needs to step up its talent, education, and overall quality of place if it wants to stay competitive. That's part of what Indiana Chamber's Senior Vice President Todd Hurst told lawmakers this morning.
In many ways, we are making progress. Lumina Foundation continues to track quality credential attainment across the country and has indicated 43% of Indiana's labor force has high-quality credentials. This ranks us in the top half of all states.
At the Indiana Chamber's 2025 legislative preview today, Hurst walked through the latest Indiana Prosperity 2035 report card and said too few Hoosiers have the training they need, and Indiana's losing ground compared to other states. The 25th anniversary of the Safe Haven Law will be celebrated this week at the State House. Johnette Cruz reports.
Linda Zanacco, founder of He Knows Your Name Ministry, says the state's devotion
addition to enhancing the law makes it a national model. Zanako shared her experience of what started her ministry so long ago.
Well, the Safe Haven Law is so important to saving lives. And my ministry started in 2009 when a baby was found in a dumpster here in Indianapolis. And I didn't have this on my radar at all.
The importance of the Safe Haven Law was tragically highlighted on September 1st when an infant was found deceased at Brookside Park. Zanako's ministry named the baby Haven Grace Hope. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And men's college basketball on Sunday. Second-ranked Purdue throttled Akron 97-79. Indiana topped Incarnate Word 69-61. Ohio State won a tight one over Notre Dame 64-63. And Butler fell to SMU 87-85. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 10:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Oh, my gosh. This Rod Bray, Mike Braun feud is just getting better by the second.
So all four legislative caucus leaders, they're meeting at the Chamber of Commerce's annual legislative session preview tomorrow, Org Day. So they're determining what the priority is going to be. They say that Medicaid is going to dominate the 26th session.
Okay, real quick, I just want to set this up for everybody before we get into this, because the pro tem of the Senate, like our governor is just coming off so bad in this. Like, what's the old saying? You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, and
know when to walk away, know when to run.
Like it's over, right? I believe it was the
Kenny Rogers.
Well, but I also believe it was the poet and philosopher Marshall Mathers who once said about Moby, "You're too old. Let go. It's over."
That's true. He did say that.
Like, Braun does not seem to understand who's in charge of this situation here, and it's hilarious. This couldn't happen to a nicer guy, but. So tomorrow is what they call Organization Day, and that is essentially the official beginning of the upcoming legislative session. Now, in the most government thing ever, they start the session, and then they don't work for a month, 2 months, basically. They don't come back till the first of the year, but Org Day is sort of the day where everybody comes together. They kind of, the leadership lays out, here's the things we're going to try to address, our big ticket items.
Yep.
New people, if they do exist, they get acclimated to the building. It's generally a very, I mean, it's to the media, whatever, the people in the State House, it's kind of a big deal, but the public at large, they have no idea what's going on. However, and this lunch thing you're talking about today is sort of with the chambers where they kind of give a preview to what they're going to talk about at Org Day. However, now with this rift over redistricting and Rod Bray, the leader of the Senate, saying the votes are not here, we're not coming back December 1st, we'll see you guys. Now, he said what, the 1st of January?
Rod Bray says that he still expects the Senate to begin work on January 5th per his announcement on redistricting.
Okay.
From Friday afternoon.
So all the huffing and see, this is what he tried to.
Okay, Rod Bray came out and said this 13 minutes ago. Nope, we're meeting on January 5th.
All right. So for all the huffing and puffing, what we've been telling you now for months, the DC Drano, all those online people, they don't care at all. You're just wasting your time. We found this out the hard way. We had tens of thousands of people actually live in this state begging these guys to do something. And they had made up their mind what they were going to do, and they did it, right? So we were trying to tell you from our misery, learn from it, that especially when it's some guy who lives in Florida or wherever these, internet influencers are, this is a complete waste of your time barking at these guys on redistricting. They're going to do what they want to do, and clearly they're not hearing from enough people in their districts that want it, and so they're going to go forward with what the leadership wants. So that is Bray, his way of sticking both of his middle fingers right in the face of the DC Dranos of the world and say, hope you had fun wasting your weekend screaming at us. We're not coming back in December.
Yeah, so Bray said 17 minutes ago, nope, Senate expects to begin work on January 5th. Now, 13 minutes ago, Governor Braun tweeted out saying he just had a great call with President Trump.
Wait. So this is, as we laid out to you last hour, Trump called him all sorts of stuff in that tweet, he being Braun, and now Braun's response is, thank you, sir, may I have another?
Yes. I'll clean up my room, I promise. Yes, Dad, I took the trash out.
That's
I emptied
pathetic.
the dishwasher. I'll clean up my room now. So Braun said he had a great call with President Trump. I told him I remain committed to standing with him on the critical issues of passing fair maps in Indiana to ensure the MAGA agenda is successful in Congress. I'm still with you, Trump. I'm still with you. Indiana state legislators must show up for work and take a public vote for fair maps to counter the gerrymandering in California and Illinois. But the Indiana State Senate is hiding behind closed doors and refusing to even bring redistricting to a vote. Fight! Hoosiers deserve to know where their legislators stand and expect them to show up for work, not walk out and hide in the dark.
Boy, he's a real Billy Badass on this one, isn't it?
When Trump tells him to be one.
Yeah, when it came to what he is doing, and this is Braun is so well. Look, Braun's an out of touch, delusional old man. But and by the way, let me say this publicly because I said it on social media. How after this, Mike Braun's chief of staff, Josh Kelly, still has a job is beyond me. They totally blew it on property taxes. The session this past year was a disaster. His administration is a dumpster fire. You got the Jennifer Ruth Green stuff, all this other stuff going on. And now this. And Josh Kelly is the guy who has been basically the maestro.
He's the chief of staff.
Right. And how he is still employed is beyond me, but that tells you a lot about Braun, that he's allowing that guy to stay in this leadership position. But this is if Braun, this is literally what Braun is doing right now with redistricting is what we were begging him to do with property taxes.
Right. Except he's willing to fight for Donald Trump.
Right.
He's not willing to fight for you, taxpayer.
And what Josh and Braun and the rest of the good time fun gang in the Braun administration don't realize is this is why people hate you guys. Because you won't fight for us. You're coming off, you and these lawmakers like Liz Brown, that you are total frauds, you're total phonies. When it comes to helping the party or helping yourself, Liz Brown is a state senator from Fort Wayne who now has a primary and has suddenly found the strength of 9 conservatives and liberty-minded people plus 2, despite spending years being a complete establishment hack. And she's all in on redistricting and what she called, cowards, people who won't show up to vote.
Cowards of America. Well, she took the old Crossroads of America state sign and crossed out Crossroads and put cowards. So she's insulting Hoosiers.
Yeah, and this is a person that was a total institutional establishment hack, and now because she has a viable primary challenge that she's in fear for her job, that she's suddenly become Madam Power Pants, Madam Tough Guy over here. And so, but the point is, as it relates to the governor and Josh Kelly and whoever else is advising him, people see this. And whether they're for redistricting or they're not, look, the bottom line is this is totally an act of subserviency to Donald Trump. And you're doing this because Trump wants you to do this. And people see this. And look, there's going to be hardcore Trump supporters who are all in on this and think you're great. But it's not where the public is. Clearly, poll after poll after poll after poll shows this to you. And the public town halls show this to you. And people look at this and go, I can't afford to live in my home, or I'm fearful that within a few years I won't be able to afford to live in my home. And you told me to kick rocks when it came to standing up to these people, and you'll fight on this? You're just making it worse.
We have to talk about this part. Governor Braun says the Indiana State Senate is hiding behind closed doors and refusing to even bring redistricting to a vote. Hoosiers deserve to know where their legislators stand and expect them to show up for work, not walk out and hide in the dark. Because you had somebody like Jacob Stewart, friend of the show from Indy Star, who said they need to go show up and they need to go on record and say where they stand. But then you have to consider that Bray is saying, hey, we don't have the votes. Why would we cost taxpayers money to show up and do something that I know is going to fail anyway?
Yeah, in a weird way, he's trying to save Braun from himself.
Correct.
But what's fascinating to me, and we like Jacob, and look, people disagree all the time that are friends. The legislature kills legislation all the time.
Some stuff doesn't even make it out of committee.
Right, or that doesn't even get to committee that the public would be for or supportive of because they don't want it. This is an exercise, and Jacob knows this. He's spent years working in the Senate. This is no different than what they do on stuff all the time. And by that standard, why did they go behind closed doors and gut Senate Bill 1 then, the property tax bill? Why didn't we get an up or down vote on Braun? Why wasn't Braun demanding that? Why wasn't Braun using this tough language then saying, the public demands an up or down vote on my proposal of property tax reform? He didn't do any of that. He went to these goofy, pointless fireside chats that didn't motivate or move anybody. Like, I get what Jacob's saying, and that would be interesting to know, but this is standard operating procedure for these guys. So there's going to be some sort of protest tomorrow, which will be fascinating to see, right? Like there's some rally at 11 a.m.
They're not calling it a protest. They're calling it a rally or a round table. Yeah.
At 11 a.m. tomorrow at the State House. Now, when we get off the air, I'm going to go over there because I want to see how many people will, to my face, come up to me and go, having two more Jennifer Ruth Greens or Jefferson Shreves in Congress will change my life for the better. I want somebody to come up and say that to me. If this thing is still going on, I'm going to go over there after we get off the air because I want somebody without laughing to say that to my face.
Is it inside or outside of the State House? They don't say.
I don't know.
Yeah, it just says 11 a.m. rally, State House, Rotunda. Oh, inside, I guess.
Yeah.
And they encourage everybody to wear red.
So they'll be mistaken for the angry red-shirted teachers. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, my gosh. I love all of this. Braun deserves every bit
And they're
going
to do that on work day tomorrow.
Well, that's why they're doing it, right? They're all going to be there. But it's over. Like, it's done. They've already made their choice. The same way they screwed us on property taxes, it's over. But for some reason, Braun will fight on this, but he would not fight on property taxes. And that's the takeaway. It'd be one thing if Braun came out and said, hey, look, I tried. It didn't work. I've already set the bar of I'm totally subservient to the General Assembly, as they did on the signature issue of the 2025 session.
No, he said he just had a great call with President Trump and told him that he remains committed to standing with him on critical issues of passing fair maps, which they just did allegedly a few years ago.
This is great. This is just everything. I can't. It just couldn't happen to better, nicer people. And good. I hope Braun keeps it up. I hope he keeps. Well, he doesn't know how to run a Twitter account, or he's not typing those press releases. But who is ever doing it? You're doing it as horrible as you possibly could. It is fabulous for our show. Please keep it up.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Holy cow! Another beautiful play for Indiana. A new coach, a new team, a new energy in Bloomington.
You're going to see a bunch of guys that are all about winning. They play incredibly hard.
Coach Darren DeVries is ready to write the next chapter in Hoosier basketball.
We love what I think the fans are going to be able to see in terms of how we approach every game.
IU basketball is back. Up next, Linderwood. Tuesday at 8 on the home of the Hoosiers, 93 WIBC.
Do you remember what was happening in America? Families struggling, billions in wasteful spending. But Senator Todd Young fought back. He voted for working family tax cuts, and Senator Young voted to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse, saving taxpayers billions. So call Senator Todd Young at 202-224-5623 and thank him for supporting the Working Families Tax Cut. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
It's not just cancer care, it's the complete care you get at Hendricks.
And you can feel that spirit of excellence, trying to do what's best from a medical standpoint, but also trying to affect the patient and their family as you would a family member.
Hendricks Care is trying to meet the patient where they are. You know your body better than anyone else.
Do the cancer screening early.
An ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure.
Learn about health screenings at hendricks.org/cancer.
I was seriously injured. It was definitely somebody's fault, and I didn't actually know who, so I needed to call someone. I was really happy to have a law firm like Hensley that had ethics. I made the best call.
It happens. Hire Hensley.
WIBC cares, and if you or someone you care about needs food assistance, we have resources for you, including food distribution locations with an interactive map. Also, learn how you can make a difference for friends and neighbors in need, all at WIBC.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Transform your bath and double the value. It's B Windows Black Friday bath sale. Buy one bath, get one free. Plus no interest and no payments for 24 months. Call now or visit bwindow.com.
This hour powered by Pierce Jewelers, designers of fine custom jewelry in Carmel.
One of my guys, Casey, is shooting fire and making sense. And I told you we've got to address this because I think he is spot on.
Yeah. You're talking about the keyboardist from Styx.
I'm talking about the guy who wrote and sang most of the songs for Styx.
Dennis DeYoung.
When Styx was a real band. Yes, Dennis DeYoung. Babe, Lady, Best of Times, Come Sail Away. Not quite all of the Styx hits were Dennis DeYoung, but the vast majority of the songs people associate with the band, he was the writer and the lead vocalist, and as you said, a distant third. He was also the keyboard player.
Sure.
Yeah. Billy Joel was also the piano player for Billy Joel, right? Yes, thank you. Anyway, so they had a tumultuous breakup, and then those guys, Styx, the band Styx, Tommy Shaw, James Young, and then Dennis DeYoung went their separate ways. They still, to this day, can't stand each other. I was telling you, I was reading this article we're going to talk about here in a second, but I got down the YouTube rabbit hole last night, which is a dangerous place to be. Now, they replaced DeYoung with a guy named Lawrence Gowan, who sounds exactly like DeYoung. Clearly they got a guy who and he plays the keys, and they were trying to,
mimic him,
reinvent the wheel, right? And it's this Lawrence Gowan dude, James Young and Tommy Shaw are doing an interview with Dan Rather, and they're talking about the breakup with Styx. And I had not seen this interview before, and I knew it was tumultuous, but they hate Dennis DeYoung.
Really?
They weren't sugarcoating it, and this has been 20 years or more now that these, more than that now. It's been close to 30 years these guys have been broke up. I think this interview was, maybe 7 to 10 years ago. I mean, they hate this guy. So all of that being said, Dennis DeYoung still writes, tours, performs on his own. He does the music of Styx, and he is in the news now. A whole bunch of websites, People Magazine, New York Post, many major websites have posted this, that Dennis DeYoung just went off on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's fabulous what he said. He's so right.
Yeah, he was blasting the Hall of Fame for inducting artists too late, after many were ill or deceased. Saying you're waiting too long.
Well, the big one was this year Bad Company went in, and just a string of hits in the 70s and 80s. And Paul Rodgers is the legendary frontman, or was the legendary frontman for Bad Company. He was Free, several other groups. He was so great that when Queen finally decided to get back together, Paul Rodgers, for about 5 years, nobody could be Freddie Mercury, but he was the guy that they picked to lead Queen. And Paul Rodgers suffered, I believe, a series of strokes, maybe 10 years ago. He is mobile. He's alive. He does videos. He talks. He appears very frail. He was once this very fit, energetic guy, but he could no longer perform. So to the point when Bad Company finally went in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he was incapable of being there as a part of the ceremony, the live performance, etc.
Right.
And DeYoung's making the case. He goes, wait a second. Bad Company's been around for 50 years. There's nothing they've done the past 20 years that would warrant them, oh, man, I can't believe they did this, that got them in. Why did you wait so long? And why are we putting some of these rappers and R&B people, why are they getting in? And these great rock groups like Styx are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right. And he went on to say, change the name. You've lost your mission. He mentioned artists like Joe Cocker and Warren Zevon as examples of musicians that were inducted decades after their prime. He said that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's mission statement on eligibility was a ruse and a joke used to justify their personal biases. Well, part of me says, is he a little bitter about this because his band isn't in it? And is he looking at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to get Shaw and DeYoung back together in the same room again?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think Styx would allow him to perform. Like, I was pondering this last night as I was watching these videos. I don't think, because the way I understand it is that Dennis DeYoung has the rights to use saying the music of Styx, and then Styx, the band, exists separate from him now. So they could just totally cut him out, right? And they may very well do that. I think it's a thing, we always joke, you and I were talking about this last night. We always joke about me and the Sagamore of the Wabash. And it's a great bit for our show, and it's very funny. And the same thing with the high school Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like, I'm under no delusion that any governor is ever going to go, we loved Rob Kendall to the point where here's the Sagamore of the Wabash.
Right. You get that award or you get into the Brownsburg Hall of Fame. Is it really going to change anything in your life? Is it going to make anything better?
No, but the point is they've diluted with the Sagamore. They've given it to so many just people who... Sagamore of the Wabash used to be our state's highest award given to people who give distinguished service. I have a very dear friend who spent 40 years working in the Department of Corrections. He was a legendary local high school soccer coach, built a soccer program up, and that's the sort of person that would get this award. Look, you've given decades of your life to helping the community and helping the state of Indiana, and it used to be those were the people that would get the award, and now it's just like politicians and donors, and they just hand them out like candy. It doesn't mean anything anymore. They've diluted the thing, and the same thing's true with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You get in, so what?
Right. Well, so that leads me to the question, why does Dennis DeYoung need the museum to validate his worth? He's saying, you're waiting too long. My band should be in. Why does he care?
Well, sometimes
Isn't their craft?
I think it's
reason enough.
If you've given your life to something and you see something that once upon a time had real meaning and it was a real honor. Look, the Baseball Hall of Fame is becoming this too. There's all these guys who were pretty good players, but they certainly weren't Hall of Fame worthy, who are in now, that they let in these veterans committees, etc. And when you say, because I don't think any person would dispute, in the late 70s and early 80s, Styx was arguably maybe the most famous rock band on the planet. Certainly one of them, along with Foreigner and Journey, and I mean they're all kind of in that soup together. And you say, well, we were the upper echelon. We were the tippy top. We were the best. And that should be recognized. That should be, and there should be a quote unquote Hall of Fame for the best of the best. And you're letting all of these other people in, and then these people who really deserve it aren't in. I think if I were him, I would be pissed off about that. I would be upset about that.
So the inductees this past year included Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Cyndi Lauper, Joe Cocker, Outkast, Soundgarden,
Hey Ya,
and the White Stripes.
Hey Ya
got in before Styx.
Hey Ya got in before Styx.
Did I ever tell you that when I was in 7th grade, James gave me a 45 of Styx?
James.
In the lunchroom.
Oh, your boyfriend? Mm-hmm. Was that your boyfriend?
He liked me.
Oh.
He gave me a 45 of
what
Babe.
Was it? Oh, Babe.
But then when you listen to the lyrics of that, Babe, I'm leaving.
Really? It's a song.
Sure.
For his wife about how lonely it is to be out on the road without her.
I think James in the 7th grade was on the road.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And now there's James calling you now.
He heard his name. He's calling you.
Yeah, he's very upset, as he should be. And by the way, we got to get to a break, but just remind everybody that if the guy who wrote and sang most of the songs is not in the band, it is not that band.
It's Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Giant list of reasons why I trust Window Nation. They did such an awesome job replacing the windows in the front of my house. My old, drafty, cracked windows. Came in within a day, put in some new windows, left my house cleaner than before the install. Recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. So you know you can trust Window Nation for high quality, affordable windows.
They have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They have got over 45,000 5-star reviews, and they've came out to my house. I trust Window Nation. You can trust Window Nation. They are the best in the business, but you need to hurry. The sale ends soon. 50% off all window styles and 0 interest financing for 5 years. Schedule a fast and free estimate right now at windownation.com. windownation.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A week to keep your eye on the sky. Mostly sunny and 43 degrees in the Circle City. I'm Sean Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:30. There are multiple chances for rain this week across Indiana.
The first one is coming on Tuesday morning, so enjoy the nice weather while it's here because rain is on its way this week.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says rain is also looking likely both Thursday and Friday, but he doesn't expect any severe weather with this. President Trump says House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files, and that vote is supposed to happen this week. Danielle Bensky says she was violated by Jeffrey Epstein when she was younger, and she discussed this morning what she and other Epstein survivors want to see happen.
It really is an understanding that we are all coming together for this cause for a reason, because we want to change it for the future.
Many Republicans expected to vote yes in the House, and if the measure passes, it'll go to the Senate. A new study shows listening to music could lower the chances of getting dementia. The study from Australia shows older adults who frequently listen to music have a 39% lower risk of dementia in comparison to those who don't listen on a daily basis. Researchers followed habits of more than 10,000 adults 70 years and older for about 10 years as part of the study. I'm Sean Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Remember lining up before dawn on Black Friday? Those days might be gone, but the excitement isn't. Great Lakes Honda of Fishers is keeping Black Friday alive all month long and kicking off Happy Honda Days. This month only, lease a 2026 CR-V LX all-wheel drive for $359 a month for 39 months with 0 down and registered Winnie Yeti cooler. Visit Great Lakes Honda of Fishers off State Road 37 today. Tax not included with approved credit through Honda Financial. In-stock new Hondas only, not combinable with other offers. $10K a year. All fees and first payment due at signing. Offer ends November 30th. See dealer for details.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios, and they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Wilson, third generation owner of Wilson Farm Market, just 15 minutes north of 465 on 31. If you are looking for your source of homegrown, locally made, know where your food's coming from, we are your spot. We have hand-dipped ice cream, 130 different kinds of cheese. We fry chicken, just a little bit of everything, a foodie's heaven. Wilson Farm Market, where good taste runs in the family. Just 15 minutes north of 465, right on US 31.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe. Laugh until your belly aches. Cry because you care so much. And experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today. Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251.
The lady says at the end of the tunnel was nothing but a burglar's tunnel.
Fascinating how people with six figures are feeling the pinch of inflation.
Yes, everyone is.
But before that, some people are often fascinated. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. That's Casey about the insider baseball. Kev and I got on a little back and forth about John Fogerty during the break, and we were talking about, I don't even know how we got on this, but
I was telling you about how I saw CCR a few years ago at the State Fair, and how they're not really CCR because John Fogerty.
That's
wasn't
right.
there.
Right.
Yeah, the guy is not there. Yeah, he's gone. And I was saying John Fogerty is fascinating because he was this, obviously CCR was this massive juggernaut in the early 70s. And then he didn't quit, but he basically sort of disappeared and then reemerged with that Center Field album in the mid 80s. And he ended up, big part of all that was he ended up in court with his, I think it was his old record company. They sued him because he was sounding too much like himself, as I recall.
Right.
And then he had to play guitar on the witness stand.
In front of a judge.
Yeah, the judge is basically like, well, that's the way you sound, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody go home. And we were talking about how great that Center Field album was, and there's a song on that album. Center Field was obviously the
hit.
And then Old Man Down the Road and Rock and Roll Girls. But there's a song called I Saw It on TV, in which John Fogerty is, he's 80 years old now or something. He was, coming of age in the 1950s and 60s, and the song is all about all the great stuff that was on TV when he was growing up and how it shaped his worldview and mind, and it's a look back in the 1980s at all these great things that were on TV. And I told Kevin, I said, you have to listen to that song. And so he came in with a little, I Saw It on TV as the bumper music.
Yeah. John Fogerty watching TV when they used to sign off.
That's
play the national anthem and go off the air.
That's right. Yeah. When I owned my radio station in North Carolina, it started as an AM daytimer because I'm an incredible businessman. I got an FM translator to go along with it, but as a daytimer radio station, I had
to power down at night.
To power on and off. You had to sign on and sign off every day. That was a big deal to sign on. I was like, what decade are we living in?
Did you have to take those meter readings too?
Oh my gosh.
To make sure you weren't transmitting in higher power than what you were allotted.
It was a bygone era. Hard to believe this industry isn't doing better than what it's doing.
Yeah, well, that's automated now.
Yes.
Kevin, you don't have to take readings, do you?
No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I mean, by the time, so when we first bought the radio station, because I ultimately got a transmitter that could do all that stuff, but we still had the one with the tubes.
Yeah.
Like you would turn the thing on in the morning and it would literally go, wah.
And it looked like you were taking the barometric pressure reading or something.
It was so horrible. It's like something's going to blow up here. Anyway, so there was News Nation had an article, and I think this stems out of a poll from Harris.
Yeah, it was the Harris poll survey.
Saying how pinched people earning six figures are feeling.
Yeah, they said nearly 1/3 of six-figure earners describe themselves as financially distressed. And about 2/3 of high earners do not consider themselves wealthy, even though they make over $100,000 annually.
My mom and I were having this conversation the other day about the idea of a six-figure earner. And what is interesting is the number is largely relevant to when you were earning. Because in this article, they said six figures, $100,000 is equivalent. 20 years ago, you'd have been making you would have to make $175,000 today,
right,
to have made $100,000 is the equivalent of $100,000 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I butchered that beyond belief. Let me try that again. $175,000 today. If you made $175,000 today, your buying power is the equivalent of making $100,000 20 years ago.
Yes, that's correct. That was an economist from Comerica Bank who said that.
So while $100,000 may sound like a lot of money, it is simply not anymore.
Well, inflation's obviously eroding your purchasing power. They said that many of these six-figure earners report being in survival mode.
That's crazy.
And they're relying on credit cards for everyday expenses. If that's the case, you're just not budgeting properly.
Yeah.
You're spending on unnecessary items.
Yeah. I mean, like a household with a $200,000 income is not rich by any stretch of the imagination. But you also should not be in survival mode. If you've got a household income or is of $200,000 or an individual making $100,000, you should be able to live I'm not saying even upper middle class, but a somewhat comfortable middle class existence if you have any sort of financial literacy or restraint whatsoever.
Well, at some point, it sounds like some of these people got themselves into a mortgage, which was out of their reach now.
Well, I think that's the big part, right? Is people have not adjusted their buying, their spending, their financial habits with the reality that has faced them of the necessities climbing in cost.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, there was a time where you could get away with, hey, I'm maybe a little higher on my car than I should be. I bought a little nicer car than I probably should, and that's going to pinch me a little bit. Or maybe the same thing could be said true with your house. But you could get around that because food and living in general wasn't unaffordable.
44% of high earners say that they are one expected bill away from financial chaos.
That's
Aren't you supposed to have 3 months of an emergency fund, 3 months salary in savings equivalent to an emergency fund?
That's on the person. I get, and look, everybody is feeling the pinch of inflation, and it's ridiculous, and you shouldn't. But if you're earning $100,000 a year, or you're in a household with a $200,000 income, you should be able to live several months, numerous months, if you lost a job. And one bill, while it might sting, and it might put a dent in your, like, your refrigerator goes out,
right?
As I experienced, or you need a car repair.
Or you need new brakes, like me.
Now, look, you bought that Jeep. We warned you. We told you.
Right.
The Jeep, that was your own doing. We told,
It's 2018.
Well,
it's been around for a few years now. It's new brakes.
But didn't you just put a gajillion dollars into that car?
Yeah, I did.
And they didn't fix the brakes?
Well, they weren't.
It wasn't part of the deal?
The pads weren't worn down back then.
Yeah,
they are now.
You got to take some level of accountability in all of this, that maybe it's you if you're earning six figures and you're in that big of a financial strait.
There's also a big geographic difference. I mean, a six-figure salary in New York City is not going to go as far as somewhere in the Midwest.
Oh, yeah, your poverty level, if you're earning $100,000 inside of New York City itself, that's nothing.
Right. So you have to take that into consideration when you're looking at this poll. I know I was recently having a conversation with my daughter. She was trying to determine what to get her roommate for her birthday. And she threw out a few suggestions, and I said, things are kind of expensive right now. You really should consider something that she can use. It may not be the funnest thing to get her, but a gas card means a lot.
Yeah.
Or maybe food. It's not quite as fun, but it'll get used.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little life lessons.
And she said, thanks, or I'm going to ignore that in the order it's received?
No, she said, yeah, you're right. That's a good idea.
Oh, good. She listens to you.
Sometimes. Hammer's going to join us next. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, the redistricting fight is now going national. Well, it always has been. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Picture this. Your career ends, your paycheck stops. Suddenly you're conducting your retirement with no sheet music. Don't let that happen. I'm Jason Hutchins, and after years of guiding Hoosier families through retirement planning, I put together some of the most important lessons into one simple, easy-to-read book, Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. Get a copy mailed to you at no cost. Call 317-6600929. That's 317-6600929. This book is packed with real-world stories and strategies on income, Social Security, taxes, and how to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Call Guardian Wells Financial at 317-6600929. That's 6600929 and ask for your copy. No pressure, no strings attached. Supplies are limited, so when they're gone, they're gone. Orchestrate your retirement. The rhythm of your future starts here.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wells Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Hey guys, it's Rob for We Grow Hair Indie, and if you would like to look as fabulous as me, that is within your grasp with a call to We Grow Hair Indie. 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. Darren and the gang, they're top notch. You go in there, they'll take a look at what's going on the top of your head, and then they'll give you some suggestions on how to make that look a little bit better. Then it's up to you. No hassle, no obligation. And in the meantime, if you'd like to see some other folks who made the choice to get their confidence back by heading over to We Grow Hair Indie, check it out. WeGrowHairIndie.com. WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call them today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
It's Terry Stacy. How many of you started the year with good intentions of losing weight and getting in shape by spring? Well, if you didn't hit that goal, Exercise Inc. can help. Exercise Inc. has been helping people get stronger, build muscle, lose weight, and transform their health for over 20 years. The program works, and guess what? It only takes 20 minutes a week. Their unique training method was developed in an osteoporosis research study to help prevent bone mineral loss in older women. The women in the study ended up getting very strong in a short amount of time. When the method was applied to normal, healthy adults, both men and women got a lot stronger. Their Simple 9 nutritional program has helped their clients lose over 37,000 pounds since 2013, and they've seen clients lower their blood pressure, improve their blood sugar, and get off prescription meds. Their coaches are professional, their gyms are private. Get started now before summer gets here. Locations in Avon, Brownsburg, Fishers, Greenwood, and Zionsville. Change your life in 20 minutes a week. Go to exerciseinc.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. If you're living with a chronic condition like diabetes, chronic heart failure, or a cardiovascular disorder, you might count on extra support with your health care too. That's why United Healthcare offers chronic special needs plans with extra benefits and a large provider network to choose from. Visit uhc.com/Medicare to find out if you qualify today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on. Provider network may vary in local market.
If you're experiencing a hardship and need to quickly sell your home, we may be able to help.
I'm excited to start the new chapter of my life. I'm going to be moving 2 states away to be with my husband. Simple Quarters did not drag anything out. Simple Quarters wanted to get this done as quickly as I did, which was fantastic. I had the offer, I believe, within 2 hours of them coming through and doing the walkthrough. It just couldn't have worked out better. It really couldn't have.
Call Simple Quarters 317-900-HOME.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Senator Jim Banks is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Senator Jim Banks at 202-224-4814 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
If you or someone you know needs help putting food on the table, that help is closer than you think. WIBC Cares. We've partnered with local food banks and organizations to provide resources for those who need them. Just go to WIBC.com and look for the banner that says Find Free Food Near You. You'll find a link to Community Compass, an up-to-date interactive map that shows locations, days, and times for you to collect food at no cost, as well as other resources to help you through this challenging time. Find community help now at WIBC.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Ease into game day at the Ultimate Colts Tailgate, happening at the Slippery Noodle, Sunday, November 30th. Doors open at 9:30. Good vibes, great food, and pregame fun with fellow fans.
Jason Hammer, one half of the Hammer and Nigel show, joins us now. Hammer, hello.
It's not quite Festivus yet.
Yeah.
But to quote George Costanza's father, I got a lot of problems with you people.
Yeah.
And now you're going to hear about it.
Great.
So I am one of the few, at least on your program here, that was all right with the idea of redistricting. Was it the greatest thing since sliced bread? No. Was my life going to change substantially? No.
Yeah.
And to your credit, Rob, I wish we saw this level of gusto when it came to property taxes.
That's right.
All of that's true. But I live in Marion County, okay? I'm an Indianapolis guy. My rep at a national level is Andre Carson. So if I get the opportunity to fire that clown, and I get what you're saying, you're just going to get replaced by a Jefferson Shreve. You're probably right, because that guy, much like Flounder, he's a real zero. But I feel like you have to at least try, because I've seen the Andre Carson movie, and it sucks. It's horrible. So if given the opportunity to replace Andre Carson or that dork up north, Frank Mervan, I'm okay with it. Yeah. It's not the end of the world for me. Like, it's not a hill that I'm willing to die on per se, but I'll be all right if Andre Carson got bounced out. And as for you, Casey, I got beef with you.
Oh, no.
So you opened up the show today being real smug about this. Like, we were talking, you guys were talking about Senate Pro Temp Rod Bray. And you were kind of laughing at how some people might call him a rhino. I'm some people, right? And you seem very smug about that.
Oh, I didn't mean to sound smug.
Oh, that's how it came off.
Sorry.
Because let me go down a laundry list of reasons why people like myself had a problem with that.
Okay.
And number one, this is the same dude who screwed you on your property tax bill.
That's right.
It's not Braun. It's not Beckwith. They had a hand in it. But this is the guy, right? This was your show's signature deal. There was an amazing rally. You got people to show up, people who don't normally do this type of thing. And it was loud and it was rowdy. And you know what Rod Bray did? He had a mariachi band, and he was pissed off people were wearing green, and he did not come by to give you guys.
He told his people not to wear green.
On St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
And he came by, I'm sorry, he did not come by to give you 1 ounce of his time. So that's what he thinks of you. Like, if I were you two, I'd be more pissed off at him than anybody. Okay, so that's one. Number two. He was against constitutional carry for so long. The only reason that butt sniffer changed his mind was because allegedly the NRA broke off a phone call and said it'd be a shame if the funding stopped. Then all of a sudden, holy Lord, he saw the light. It's funny how that works out. It's almost like that guy and his elite team of butt sniffers around him only care about money. So there's that. And then also, when given the opportunity to fight back and fire Andre Carson and fire Frank Mervan, he sat in the corner and did nothing. And I get it. If it were Jefferson Shreve, he'd probably do the same thing. Some of these Republicans are zeros, but don't get smug in people acting like this dude is a rhino, because he's been against 3 of the biggest things that I care about in the last 5 years.
So you're saying he is a rhino. He needs to be primary.
Well, it's 3 years.
Right.
I mean, it's 3 years down the road, but some of us were hating this clown before it was cool.
People got so, like, humor's just out these days. Remember in Mrs. Doubtfire where he goes through all the voices when he goes to meet with the lady at the employment place, and he does all the voices, and she just looks at him and goes, do you consider yourself to be funny? like I posted that photo. I changed my profile picture to Rod Bray. By the way, people are freaking out.
That's right, you did.
Because every time I comment on somebody's post, they think it's Rod Bray bringing the smoke on their feed. And I'm just being funnier, and people are like, you sold out. You're a whatever, a bootlicker or whatever the name was. Like, it's funny. It's humorous. Like, nothing's funny anymore. I'm sorry for trying. Like, just, it's all ridiculous. I'm with you. Rod Bray is awful. I don't dispute that. He's
like,
totally
the fact
horrible.
that he is in this position of power, like, he's the captain now, and he's been the captain, right? Doesn't matter who the governor was. Right. He's calling the balls and strikes here. The fact that we as a state have allowed this just needle wiener to become the guy, that maybe that's an us problem. Maybe that's a voting problem.
So do you think that they should go and meet and vote anyway? He's saying they don't have the votes.
like, on one hand, don't waste the money if you don't have it. But I would like to see
on
the record, just curiosity, because I don't believe these polls that say it was overwhelmingly unpopular. Maybe
Every one of them? They're all in the tank?
Just like Kamala was supposed to be right there neck and neck with Trump, every one of them.
Well, statistically, or the country, it was a percentage point separated. I mean, it was neck and neck.
But let's see. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I'm not buying for a minute that it's like Satan bad, Satan good poll. I don't think it's that way at all. I bet it's closer than you guys think.
Okay, but Braun does look horrible in all this, that he folded on property taxes, and he's like moving heaven and earth to try to get this thing through.
Scheduled to join us tomorrow at 5:06.
Oh.
In studio.
Org day.
So we'll see what happens. He was scheduled to join us before all of this went through. He's never canceled an appearance on our show. So we look forward to having the governor in here tomorrow. The invite still stands. Hopefully we'll have some thoughts on all of this stuff going on here.
If I slide a paper over to you with a few thoughts on them, would you pass them along to him?
I will do that. Well, hell, the last time we had the lieutenant governor on, I played your question, did I not?
Yeah, I'm gonna write a memo. I think that's what I'll do. If I write a memo, will you pass it along?
Oh, yeah, because that's what everybody loves, reading long things on social media.
You're going to use a Sharpie?
No, it'll be great.
That's the libertarian in you coming out,
It'll be great, like when I did the Doge thing. Remember, he loved that. He said he put it on his fridge or something, didn't he?
Yeah, people love reading long
Put a
things.
sticker on it like I did the last one.
What's coming up today?
We'll continue this conversation. We're going to get a decision from the prosecutor in that Westfield, Whitestown shooting, whatever it is. Guy Relford scheduled to join us.
Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. When you buy an engagement ring or fine jewelry gift from Shane Company, you get more than what you paid for. Our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. It covers everything. There's no fine print. You'll get unlimited cleanings, resizings, and repairs. Plus, it even protects your engagement ring's center stone. We stand behind the quality of our jewelry, and that's our gift to you this holiday. Peace of mind. Because a friend knows the best things in life are free. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hamilton is coming. Tickets are on sale now for the Tony and Pulitzer Prize-winning musical, Hamilton, in Indianapolis at Old National Center from December 2nd to the 14th. Get tickets at BroadwayInIndianapolis.com.
Do you know what employees say is their number one perk at work? Extra PTO? Nope. Gym memberships? Guess again. It's free lunch. And what's the best way to order food for work? Easy Cater, a food tool built for the modern workplace. With online ordering from a huge variety of restaurants for any group size, tools to meet dietary needs and stay on budget, employee meal programs, and more, all on one platform. So perk up your workplace with Easy Cater. Order now at easycater.com.
Do you remember what was happening in America? Families struggling, billions in wasteful spending. But Senator Todd Young fought back. He voted for working family tax cuts, and Senator Young voted to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse, saving taxpayers billions. So call Senator Todd Young at 202-224-5623 and thank him for supporting the Working Families Tax Cut. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
WIBC cares, and if you or someone you care about needs food assistance, we have resources for you, including food distribution locations with an interactive map. Also, learn how you can make a difference for friends and neighbors in need, all at WIBC.com.
It's B-Window's biggest sale of the year. Get up to 68% off, plus no interest, no payments for 24 months. Call now or go to bwindow.com.
Trust me.
Parents, teachers, school board members.
We all play a
Do
role.
you want your school to experience the richness of academic freedom or the constraints of a one-size-fits-all federal mandate called Common Core Standards? Advocates for academic freedom is for educational excellence and local control of your school. Come join the fight for your children's education.
You can contact us at advocatesforacademicfreedom.org or call 1-715-234-5072.
Hensley's Legal Group is one of those firms that puts the client above all else.
We pride ourselves in caring and communication. We're extremely passionate about helping them through their tough times. We truly want to see our clients get better.
It happens. Hire Hensley.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, when rain is possible again in Indiana, what investigators now know about a member of the Indiana National Guard who died Friday, and what has the Indiana Chamber of Commerce feeling good about the future of the state. You'll be hearing these stories and much more coming up after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and also what Governor Mike Braun had to say to President Trump. It's now 11 o'clock.
Trying to make America affordable again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's President Trump's renewed focus on the economy.
We worked on it this weekend, and you're going to see some of the items that were a little bit higher. They were lower than the last administration, but a little bit higher. We're going to have some little price reductions, and in some cases, some pretty good ones.
He told reporters that last night. This evening, he might give more details, addressing a gathering of McDonald's restaurant executives.
With the government shutdown now over, the White House wants to pivot its messaging to the economy and what it can do to reassure Americans things aren't as bleak as many people believe. So what are those announcements going to be? More deals with pharmaceutical companies to bring down drug prices, efforts to address those higher mortgage rates, try to change the housing market, reducing tariffs on a number of products, as well as a possible $2,000 rebate check for some taxpayers.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. The president also again told reporters the Epstein controversy is a Democrat hoax.
They're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection from the tremendous success that we're having as a party.
But later last night, he posted on Truth Social the House should vote to release Epstein files because he and Republicans have nothing to hide in the probe into the underage girls' sex trafficking scheme. The Supreme Court is taking up another Trump-related case, reviewing the administration's attempt to limit asylum processing claims made by migrants coming here illegally at the border. Now, Border Patrol's cracking down on illegal immigration far from Mexico in an operation in North Carolina. Fox's Madison Scarpino's in Charlotte.
Border Patrol agents making dozens and dozens of arrests all around the city this weekend. We know 81 arrests were made in just 5 hours, according to CBP Commander Greg Bovino, and we're expecting that number to rise a lot. Bovino says most of those arrested have a, quote, significant criminal and immigration history.
It's a more normal travel day at airports this morning. The FAA lifted restrictions put in place during the government shutdown. There are only 36 flights canceled today as AAA predicts record Thanksgiving travel next week. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Chances for rain in your forecast. Partly cloudy and 45 in downtown Indy. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Rain is supposed to arrive across Indiana starting tomorrow morning.
So we have rain coming in Tuesday, drying out for Wednesday, and then starting on Thursday, we have another system coming in, bringing more widespread rain to the region, and that's going to persist into Friday. So it looks like by the weekend, we are drying out a little bit.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis does not expect any severe weather or high wind gusts, but he says this rain will help alleviate some of the drought conditions. An Indiana National Guard soldier who died in a crash on Friday in Boone County was identified this morning as a man named Terry Fry. He was from Lafayette, and he had served in the National Guard since March of 2020 as an infantryman with Company D in Frankfort. And during his 5 years of service, Fry earned the National Defense Service Medal and Army Service Ribbon. 3 other guardsmen were injured, and investigators are trying to figure out what caused that crash. Indiana has real momentum in its schools and workforce training. That's part of what Indiana Chamber of Commerce Senior Vice President Todd Hurst said today at the Chamber's 2025 legislative preview. He also says there are Other challenges.
Labor force participation rate is another indicator that we are tracking closely. Currently, Indiana has a labor force participation rate of 63.5%. This means that of all individuals 24 and older, 36% are choosing not to work and actively not seeking employment.
Hurst also telling lawmakers that strong K-12 schools are driving workforce success and quality of life, calling recent gains real momentum for helping more Hoosiers succeed. President Trump called out state Senate Republicans who are refusing to move forward with redistricting. Jake McDaniel reports.
In a Truth Social post on Sunday, Trump specifically named Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray and Senator Greg Good, accusing them of being too politically correct and risking the loss of the Republican House majority. Trump was emphatic, demanding that senators do their job immediately or face a primary challenge, saying the national effort was a very big deal. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And Governor Braun said he spoke to the president this morning to tell him he stands with him on the issue, and he said the Senate is just hiding behind closed doors. The Indiana Hoosier football team 11-0 for the first time ever after taking down Wisconsin on Saturday, 31-7. Hoosier head football coach Curt Cignetti says his quarterback Fernando Mendoza is having a year to remember.
I still think that he's barely scratched the surface of his potential. I think that's that much of him. I thought he was great.
The Hoosiers on a bye week this week, and on the basketball side, the IU men's basketball team beat Incarnate Word on Sunday 69-61, while the IU women were victorious over Florida State 76-72. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Indy, don't use the beautiful fall to paint. Do what Deanna did. She called Rhino Shield.
I was noticing some cracks and the paint's faded. I was like, okay, I think I should get my house painted. So my neighbor had a Rhino Shield placard in the yard. And after they were finished, I was just, wow. With the warranty and everything, it just seemed silly not to go that route.
The ceramic coating of Rhino Shield is specifically formulated for our climate.
So the Rhino Shield crew came out. Nothing was damaged in the process. I was very happy. They just didn't leave a mess. You couldn't even tell they were there. And the house looked so different. It just looked like a new home.
Backed by a 25-year transferable warranty. And now get the protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Rhino Shield, I think it increases the value and the curb appeal of your home. Definitely worth it.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Okay, so we got to get into all this stuff with the tariff checks and the price of everything. But before we do that, we definitely wanted to touch on, because Hammer mentioned it briefly on his way out the door, but coming up today, I believe it's going to be at 2 o'clock. The Boone County prosecutor is scheduled to have an announcement on what presumably will be a charging decision of some sort in that horrible shooting that took place in Whitestown, in which the woman, who I don't think she spoke English, I could be wrong on that. Doesn't I guess, well, maybe it does matter. Who knows what was going to happen. But anyway, she was a maid. She's trying to enter the house to do the cleaning. She's entering the wrong house. She's shot through the door, according to reports, dies. And now the Boone County prosecutor has been working through this over the past couple of weeks to try to figure out what happened. What does the law say about this? Guy Relford from WIBC has been retained as this individual's counsel, the person who was involved in the shooting. And so we'll find out, presumably, whether there's going to be charges filed in this or not, coming up at 2 o'clock today.
Yeah.
So the WIBC news team will be all over this. Hammer and Nigel will obviously have a lot to say about it coming up at 3 o'clock. So just leave it right here all afternoon as we kind of break down whatever that final decision is.
Yeah, the Boone County Prosecutor's Office holding that press conference at 2 o'clock today. They're going to provide an update on the investigation in that shooting.
This is going to be fascinating. First of all, what presume we will get a lot of whatever evidence may exist will be a part of this based on if indeed a charging decision has been made. That's going to be very interesting. And two, because and Guy Relford has talked a lot about this over the years in his program, on his program on Saturdays, the idea of this castle doctrine, right? Where if someone is entering your house, you have the right to defend yourself. But how does that pertain to
someone on the other side of the door?
Right, and if this woman was not actually breaking into the house, but would a reasonable person assume that, depending on what sort of correspondence, if any, existed? Were they able to communicate what was said, what exactly was taking place? All of this is going to be part of the prosecutor looking at what the law says, because one of the things you worry about in a case like this is, does the angry mob have influence over the decision? They should not, but clearly there's people who want this person tried. They want this person, charges filed against this person. And this is where, as a prosecutor, you got to really earn your money by saying it's not what people want. It's what does the law say, and what do we do related to the letter of the law. And so that is all going to be fascinating coming up this afternoon. And Guy Relford, as Hammer said, will be with Hammer and Nigel.
Do we know, was there any Ring doorbell camera footage?
I don't know. I think we're going to find
Either
all
from
of that
house
out.
or from a neighbor's house.
Yeah, we'll find all of that out this afternoon. So I just want to let everybody know that as a programming note. Keep it right here. And Hammer and Nigel, in addition to the news, will be all over that this afternoon.
Yeah. So Donald Trump, he has announced rollback on tariffs on over 200 food products. They include coffee, beef, bananas, tomatoes, orange juice, and some others.
Well, okay. To quote the great late Vince Lombardi, what the hell's going on over here?
Rollback was motivated by concerns from consumers over rising grocery prices.
But I thought the tariffs were great. So the logical question on this would be, what did you think was going to happen when you put these tariffs in place? What did you think was going to happen? Did you somehow think the prices weren't going to go up? What are we doing?
Yeah. The tariff exemptions cover products not grown or processed in the U.S. So, I mean, the tariffs have had, obviously, price increases on ground beef, which has been up 13%, steaks 17%, bananas 7%, tomatoes 1%, and overall food at home 2.7%.
Which, well, duh. And I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that to the Trump administration. It's a tax. A tariff is a tax. And no merchant is going to just eat a tax. They pass it along to the consumer. So what planet was Donald Trump and his people living on where they didn't think that these tariffs were going to result in a tax on the American people in the form of higher food prices?
So Trump has emphasized that they have a new focus now on affordability. And he's still saying that the recent price spikes were due to Biden policies, not his own tariffs. The Biden policies that they're still passing with the continuing resolution.
Wait. He says that the increased food prices were because of Biden, not because of him.
Not because of his own tariffs. Yes. But you have the...
I don't even know what to say.
You have the Treasury Secretary who said that the reason that beef prices are so high is because of immigrants in South America.
What is your take on what you just heard? He's expecting $10 meat.
Well, Maria, the beef market is a very specialized market. It goes in long cycles, and this is the perfect storm. Again, something we inherited, and there's also, because of the mass immigration, a disease that we've been rid of in North America, made its way up through South America. As these migrants, they brought some of their cattle with them. So part of the problem is we've had to shut the border to Mexican beef because of this disease called the screwworm. So we're not going to let that get into our supply chain. And again, I don't want to focus on one product. It's a very important product, and we are laser focused on this.
Okay, time out. I'm going to start doing the thing if I have to listen to this guy, because I'm real tired of hearing him.
Yeah.
I've heard him enough.
He's been all over the talk shows, hasn't he?
Okay, so then you don't get to bitch about egg prices because the spike in egg prices was because of the bird flu. And they brag about the egg prices all the time. So if you're going to blame the beef on the screwworm, then you can't remember it was all Biden. Biden was all the egg. And they're like, wait a second. We got something to do with this. But it's also the fact that all these farms basically had to shut down and had to slaughter all these chickens and start over. That's why the egg price. See what I'm saying? It's the hypocrisy and the disingenuousness of these people where, well, it's because of the beef worm. well, what about the eggs? No, that was because of Biden. But it was the bird flu. No, that was because of Biden. It's all of you people. All of you people are so awful. How could you have run an entire election on affordability, the cost of living, being the primary reason you were elected president of the United States? We are 10 months into your presidency, the second time, and you're like, oh, we're going to put a focus now on affordability. Well, now? You weren't doing that before? What have you been doing for 10 months?
Yeah, well, they were closing the border down before. Now they're going to focus
You can't
on
do two at the same time?
Apparently not.
And then come back to this thing with the tariffs and them trying to act like that plays no role in all of this. It was so ridiculous to do all these tariffs at a time where living is unaffordable. Like, there are times where you probably could have done that and gotten away with it. There's also some tariffs you probably could have done, the Canada, the Mexico, related to illegal drugs coming into this country. People would have bought into it. But, like, for them to act, and by the way, all this supply chain stuff, all this inflation stuff, it started when you were president, Donald Trump, because you bribed the states to shut down. You printed the trillions of dollars. You shut down everything. So you don't get to be like, well, Biden. Of course Biden played a role in it. Of course his policies were bad. They were the continuation of the bad you had basically put into motion. But it's always somebody else's fault, and I'm so sick of somebody not raising their hand and go, yep, that's on us. We got to fix this.
So Donald Trump has promised a $2,000 tariff dividend check to some Americans. It will require legislation before they can implement the plan.
Oh, my gosh. Didn't we learn?
These checks are going to be targeted to low and middle income Americans.
Okay, so it comes back then to what we talked about earlier, Casey, and this is what has me very concerned. What's middle income now? Because remember, there was a cutoff when they did the checks the last time. Well, with inflation, it's infinitely worse than before they did the check. The last time it was $75,000. Well, as we just laid out in the previous segment, $100,000 is very middle income now. What's the number going to be?
Besson said that the checks are going to be for working families with an income limit, although we don't know what that limit is.
So wait a second. We're screwing everyone with the tariffs. But then if let's say they put the number at $250 for a household or $200. If you make $210, you get screwed on the tariffs, but you don't get the benefit?
You don't get the check.
So you pay all the taxes, but you don't get the benefit.
Now, keep in mind, you still have the Supreme Court case, which is still pending, which could invalidate all of Trump's tariffs. But legislation is needed by Congress to decide whether they can consider the $2,000 tariff.
This is all
check.
insane, isn't it, Casey? Tell me I'm not the only person who hears all of this stuff and goes, this is crazy.
And then last week you had J.D. Vance. He was saying that the Trump administration is going to surge housing affordability through deportations and increasing the supply of homes.
So his theory is they're going to kick all the illegals out, and that's where the affordable housing is going to come from. I'd like to do a tour of the sort of neighborhoods where a lot of illegals live, and with Mr. Vance, and I'd like to ask him who he thinks is going to be living in a bunch of those places.
Now, keep in mind, foreclosures jumped 20% in October.
Yeah. I want them to succeed. Like, I want our country to do well. I said the same thing with Biden. But this is just, it's insanity, Casey.
Well, if Gen Z is listening, they're not understanding any of this. There's a new study that came out that says how much that generation is struggling with financial literacy. So we've got to get to that, and also the fight between Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's coming up. It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
The Affordable Care Act is not affordable, and the people who claimed it's affordable now tell you that we have to pay subsidies in order to make it affordable for the people. Now, there was some talk that Democrats were going to try and engage some level of delay, air traffic controllers not getting paid, military not getting paid, and children starving in order to get their political way. And they think that that's progress. Children were going hungry, I was told.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Another accident? What happened? Our truck driver got cut off, and they're getting blamed. No witnesses, no proof. and insurance is skyrocketing.
Wait, our drivers shouldn't take the blame for this?
Exactly why we need Samsara. Their AI dashcam show real-time video proving when our drivers aren't at fault.
So we protect our drivers and avoid false claims?
Yep. Companies using Samsara have exonerated their drivers and saved millions on insurance.
Protect your drivers and your bottom line at Samsara.com. Samsara. Operates smarter.
Remember lining up before dawn on Black Friday? Those days might be gone, but the excitement isn't. Great Lakes Honda of Fishers is keeping Black Friday alive all month long and kicking off Happy Honda Days. This month only, lease a 2026 CR-V LX all-wheel drive for $359 a month for 39 months with 0 down and registered to win a Yeti cooler. Visit Great Lakes Honda of Fishers off State Road 37 today. Tax not included with approved credit through Honda Financial. In-stock new Hondas only, not combinable with other offers. $10K a year. All fees and first payment due at signing. Offer ends November 30th. See dealer for details.
The biggest Black Friday sale ever is going on now at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Save up to $800 on top brand mattresses from Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Sealy. Indiana-made Smith Brothers of Bern is holding their factory authorized sale with the lowest price in 2025 and 50% off all Flex Deal and Lazy Boy. Free delivery, cash discounts, interest-free financing. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today. Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Do you remember what was happening in America? Families struggling. Billions in wasteful spending. But Senator Todd Young fought back. He voted for working family tax cuts. And Senator Young voted to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse, saving taxpayers billions. So call Senator Todd Young at 202-224-5623 and thank him for supporting the Working Families Tax Cut. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Transform your bath and double the value. It's B Windows Black Friday Bath Sale. Buy one bath, get one free. Plus no interest and no payments for 24 months. Call now or visit bwindow.com.
This hour powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
Okay, we got to talk about this feud between Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I think we just accidentally stumbled onto something during the break.
Mm-hmm.
As you know,
yeah,
my mind is an always moving thing, and part of why we do so well is because I can just draw comparisons or whatever in total accidental, manner, but it ends up being brilliant and changing society for the better. And I think about this fight between Large Marge and Trump. And so I was scrolling through. Facebook is just ridiculous now. Like all of the just things that these fan pages and whatever and your algorithm. And so it was some Office fan page and they had pictures of Jenna Fisher. Jenna Fisher played Pam Beasley on The Office. And I said, look, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Underrated, underappreciated hottie of the 2000s was Jenna Fisher. And the thing about Jenna Fisher was that she seemed like, in her real life interviews she would do, like a pretty cool chick. Yeah. Like sometimes you fall in love with the character.
Stable.
Yeah. Totally bad for me. But yeah, she seemed like somebody who was like, okay, this seems like a normal, cool person to hang out with, very much sort of mirroring the persona of the character she played on the show. And then we got into a conversation about The Office, and we were talking about how other than Krasinski, isn't that his name? The guy who played Jim. None of the Office characters have translated into any. Now, Carell did.
I was going to say Steve Carell.
But he already had the success. Yeah. He'd been the anchor man, and he did the movies while he was on The Office, so it wasn't like... Is there some Carell role post Office where you're like, man, Space Force was amazing, right? Like, and the problem becomes whenever you see these people that are sort of unknowns, and then they become these beloved characters, they can't pivot. Like Jim could because he was the least talented of any of them.
You think so?
He just looked at a camera. You can't see this because it's radio and just went.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could have had 50.
I think the surprising thing about him was when he did Wasn't he in Black Hawk Down or one of those? I don't know.
Was it Jack Ryan?
Jack Ryan,
That's
yes.
it. Yeah, I just how big his muscles were.
Oh, tell us more, Casey. Tell us more about what you were noticing.
You didn't see that when he was on The Office.
Tell us more about what you were noticing in his acting career. Yeah. Well, he fit the part, right?
He bulked up.
Yeah, but whether it's Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight Schrute, or really any of those people, there hasn't been this like resounding success. And I mention all of this because with this feud with Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's sort of like trying to reinvent herself now. And the problem she's got is she in the attempt to sort of reinvent herself, which is now she's going on these liberal networks and a blah blah blah. People on her side are angry because they see it as she's like a traitor, but the average person looking at it and going, no, we kind of know you as this wacky Trump loyalist character, and we're not really buying because we didn't see a lot of independent thought from you for years that you've suddenly like turned to.
She was a huge, prominent supporter of Donald Trump, a cheerleader. I mean, do you remember during the Kevin McCarthy votes? She was the only one who would answer Trump's call.
And she
would pass her phone around everybody else.
Well, remember the still photo of her giving the eyes to Kevin McCarthy because Trump endorsed him, and then so like now the stuff, the attacks on her are like really over the top, and some of them are kind of bad. Do we have the Trump audio?
We have two audios. One is from Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's on CNN, and she's saying that she shouldn't have stayed silent while Trump was attacking everybody else. And it's like she only found her voice when he turned on her.
You posted on X that President Trump is, with his comments, fueling a, quote, hotbed of threats against you. Obviously, any threats to your safety are completely unacceptable. But we have seen these kinds of attacks or criticism from the president at other people. It's not new. And with respect, I haven't heard you speak out about it until it was directed at you.
Dana, I think that's fair criticism. And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country. And it's been something I've thought about a lot, especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, is that I'm only responsible for myself and my own words and actions. And I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately, to put down the knives in politics. I really just want to see people be kind to one another, and we need to figure out a new path forward that is focused on the American people, because as Americans, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, we have far more in common than we have differences. And we need to be able.
All right. So she's basically Scrooge waking up at the end of Christmas Carol shouting, I'll change on Christmas morning.
Yeah. She was fine with the toxicity until it landed on her.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what I'm saying is that, when you become whatever character you are, I think I've told this story before, but very early on when I was hired here, our bosses were trying to figure out what to do with me. And here 9 years later, they still are.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, this guy's very interesting, but he's so different than what we've had before. We don't quite know. And how do we harness him?
Where does he fit in?
Right. And how do we make you something that, can appeal to the masses? And one of the conversations I had with our boss, David Wood, is he was talking about great sort of side characters in television. And he said two of the greatest this stayed with me forever and was one of the best pieces of advice I ever got. He said two of the greatest side characters in the history of television were Kramer on Seinfeld and Frasier Crane, Kelsey Grammer on Cheers. And he said both of those guys were huge on the shows they were on, and then after those shows came to an end, both got their own television shows. Kramer's failed miserably, while Frasier on his own became one of the greatest television shows of all time. And what he said was, part of the reason for that was Kramer, there was no depth to the Kramer character other than just like the wacky situations you would find him in, which was great for 5 to 10 minutes a week. Like, that was great because you had all these other characters, all this other stuff going on, and the Kramer aura, the Kramer persona was great in 5 to 10 minutes a week. But when you tried to take that and make a show out of it, people were like, this is ridiculous. It doesn't work. Whereas Frasier was also kind of wacky, but there was enough normalcy and realism and depth in the Frasier character that you could make a show around that, and Kelsey Grammer was good enough to adapt to make that show legendary. So with the Marjorie Taylor Greene saying all that, there is no depth to that character. She was this wacky, wild, over the top, all Trump all the time. He's the best, he's the greatest, MAGA this, MAGA that. There was no depth to anybody other than a hardcore Trump loyalist going to go, yeah, she's awesome. I mean, we've ripped on her for years saying, what a fraud, what a phony. Well, now she's on to the next dance because wasn't she going to run for governor? Or there was something she was pondering running for, and Trump had already, maybe it was Senate, I can't remember. But she's like, okay, there's nothing there. I got to figure out the next thing. And it seems like she's trying to be loved in the media as her next thing. The problem is, none of those people are going to like her.
Right. We've already seen her be the goofy side.
There is no depth to her character.
Little goes a long way.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
She is saying that Donald Trump's remarks have put her life in danger, and she's citing some of his Truth Social posts about her calling a traitor. And here's what Donald Trump had to say about that.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
Now, that's one take, but after we saw what happened with Senator Good here in Indiana, yeah, she probably did have some disturbances.
So Greg Goodgood, senator from the Terre Haute area.
Yeah.
Trump called him out on social media. Now, don't know whether these two are connected or not. It's a heck of a coincidence if they're not. But went after him on social media, and then last night his house was swatted. Those of you who don't know, swatting is where someone calls in or emails, in this case, I think, a fake police report or gets the attention of law enforcement.
Disturbance.
Yeah, and they went to his house, and look, these are very dangerous when they happen because law enforcement goes to the premises assuming there's some crisis going on. It's a very serious offense. It's my understanding that he was in the basement. He wasn't where there's anybody even at the door. Now, there are reports that they had to kick the door down. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I've heard that from multiple people to the point, and thankfully nobody was injured. Everybody was fine. But this is how people get seriously hurt because law enforcement can enter a premises then assuming, hey, something's going on. And look, that guy, it's horrible that happened to him. That rhetoric is not going to be great for her. She's not a traitor to anything, to her country. She's just a fraud. I mean, she's a phony. But we've been saying that for years. But Trump's got to... it kind of gets old, doesn't it, right? I mean, it was fun for, like, 2015, 2016, it was fun. And then that show, it's like a television show. It kind of jumped the shark. It's like you're the president, man. Be presidential. Govern like a president.
Yeah.
You know, but the reality show, it never stops, man. And I don't think it works out well for him.
Well, for her side, Marjorie Taylor Greene said that she's going to tone down the rhetoric and she's not going to participate in toxic politics anymore. If that's the case, then she's done because all politics are toxic.
Be a Frasier, don't be a Kramer.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Might want to keep that umbrella handy. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Multiple rounds of rain are supposed to fall this week across Indiana.
Looks like at the moment, with this first round of rain on Tuesday, Indiana can be expecting anywhere between like 1/3 of an inch and 3/4. That's currently what we have in the forecast.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says he does not see any chances for snow this week, but that might change next week. International student enrollment rates are declining at American colleges and universities. That's according to a new report from the Association of International Educators. And the prices of the popular weight loss drugs Wegovy and Ozempic are being lowered starting today. The monthly cost for each of the two drugs is now $349. That's down from $499 for those not using insurance. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
I'm Dwight Freeney, and my friend Eli is alive today thanks to someone who said yes to organ donation. When Eli was just 12 years old, he received a liver transplant that saved his life because someone just like you said yes to being an organ donor. His story and many others like his are why I have teamed up with Indiana Donor Network and Donate Life Indiana to help end the wait for life-saving organs. You can help. Say yes to being an organ donor next time you are at the BMV.
Hey guys, it's Rob. Life Church has 4 campuses across central Indiana: Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, plus online services. So wherever you're at, there is a Life Church campus right near you. Now, as we said, campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Life Church would love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family. You can learn about all of that on the web, lifechurchin.com.
Growing your retail business is easier with Shopify Point of Sale. Shopify POS connects your entire retail store, in-store, online, and social media on one platform. It's built for how customers shop today and for how they'll shop tomorrow. The result? Smoother checkouts and deeper customer relationships that pay off and keep them coming back. Ready to grow with Shopify POS? Visit shopify.com/switch now for more details. That's shopify.com/switch now.
You get up early on snow days because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to thrive in the winter. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $5,250. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today. Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
Express the heartwarming message that says love is about being together. Let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be the symbol that says, I love you. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what Braun would like at this point. Someone to take him to the river and push him into water. Pushing him down!
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he wants to just fall in a hole and hide.
So the Speaker of the House has said that they are still making arrangements.
Admit it, Kevin. That was pretty funny, wasn't it? That was a good way.
That was a good reference.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
The Speaker of the House said that they're still going to be at the state capitol on December 1st. So the House is still planning to vote. Senate, not so much.
Okay, this is so fascinating to me because you just have, it's like a triangle of terror. You got the House of Representatives, You got the governor, and then you got the Senate, and then you got the people who are being ignored over here on the outside. But there's part of me that wants to feel bad for Braun because he's clearly so in over his head, and he's playing in a league he has no business playing in. Like, if you think of the life of Mike Braun, he's almost a Citizen Kane type of character, in the sense that he made a gargantuan amount of money in his business life, which good on him. And then he used that money to buy himself a U.S. Senate seat. He bought himself immense power. And then with that, he was able to utilize a somewhat fraudulent 6 years in the U.S. Senate, in which he huffed and puffed a lot, but didn't really accomplish anything. But he aligns himself with Trump to the point where he gets this Trump endorsement coupled with his own money and his ability to raise money as a U.S. Senator. And part of the deal with that, though, because the guy is totally out of his league and has no business. I mean, if Braun were a regular guy, if he were just a normal state rep, he would have never been a U.S. Senator. He would have never been there. He'd never be the governor. He then becomes totally beholden to Trump, and he has to do the bidding of a guy, and he's not smart enough or politically savvy enough, and he's surrounded himself with people who are not smart enough or politically savvy enough. See Josh Kelly as chief of staff, to navigate the waters of the State House, and he keeps making promises that he's unable to cash. The reason he's so hated on property taxes is he felt he had to have our support. James Briggs of Indy Star wrote a fabulous article about this several months ago, about how Braun felt he needed our support literally being us, this radio show. And so he was willing to say or do whatever he had to say or do to get us to go along with him, including he just kept changing the plan on the fly, right? They weren't thinking it through. And my view, and I don't want to speak for you, but my view on it was the guy's going to probably win anyway. We got to keep him engaged to try to get property taxes across the finish line. And the more beholden he kind of becomes to us, the more we can stay engaged and try to help him once the process starts. The problem was, he didn't believe any of it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think he was just using that, right?
Of course.
He wasn't really trying.
But we were using him. We didn't like him either. And we just said, hey, if this guy's going to win, we might as well just make this as big a priority as we can, make him make it as big a priority as we can. We know what he is. We thought his goofy lieutenant governor was going to be a much bigger help than he actually turned out to be. And we thought, okay, between the radio show, the lieutenant governor, and Braun just being just a coward anyway, we'll go with the path of least resistance, we can make this thing happen. Well, obviously, he didn't have the intestinal fortitude to do that. He pissed everybody off by making people believe he did, and then everybody ended up hating him. And it's the same thing happening all over again with this redistricting stuff, in which he just can't ever speak up for himself. He can't tell you what he actually thinks because he craves being liked, he craves acceptance, he craves power, and I think he made promises to Trump that he's incapable of keeping, and that's why Trump's pissed off.
Right. Well, he said he's still committed to doing it, and he's trying to thread the needle too much.
Look, he would have been so much better off, but again, it's a guy who craves acceptance and he craves being liked. If he'd have come to us a year and a half ago and said, I'm going to try on this for you guys, but the reality is I'm probably, given the goof troop I have to deal with, not going to be able to get a bunch of this stuff, and I'll do my best, and we'll see what happens. Okay. That's way different than the
what happened
tune he was singing, right? And so when you set unreasonable expectations for people, then you're going to get hatred, especially in the political realm, when you don't deliver on those things. And he is once again not delivering, and he doesn't have the juice to change Rod Bray's mind. They look at him and go, you're a joke. Your lieutenant governor's a joke. And the fact that you were just on a stage fist bumping, Micah and Braun were at that Owen County event, simpatico, fist bumping, smiling, yucking it up. They look at it and go, you both are a disgrace. We're not doing what you think. We run the show around here. Go sit in the corner, Grandpa. And there's nothing he's going to do to change their mind.
So is this the first time that lawmakers have declined to follow a governor's call for a special session? Like, when has that ever happened?
But this is what I don't think people are getting. And look, some legal beagle can tell me otherwise. They're not going to be in a special session as of tomorrow. Right. Tomorrow is Org Day. This is why I think, look, you're not going to convince me that Houston is some patriot in all this either. I mean, they picked December 1st for a reason. Braun called the session the 1st of November. They had 2 weeks to get everybody together before Org Day and do this, in which Braun conceivably could have, now I don't know what he would have done, brought in the National Guard, ordered him there. I don't know what he would have done, but might have had more of the law on his side. But what nobody can answer for me is because people keep saying, I can't believe Bray would defy Braun like this. Well, number one, I can, but two, in my mind, effective tomorrow, there is no special session. It's the legit session. Starts tomorrow, which means those guys are back in charge of doing whatever they want to do. Now, if somebody wants to present a legal argument to me otherwise, I'll hear it, but nobody has.
It's being reported that after they left that annual Indiana Chamber session, that Rod Bray and Todd Hughes, they didn't talk to reporters. Normally they do. They'll answer some questions in a gaggle. This time they didn't.
Those guys have always seen Braun as a big, fat fraud and a phony. The same way Brian Bosma and David Long saw Mike Pence as a big, fat fraud and a phony. They have a way they want that thing to operate down there, and they are not going to let some governor who they believe is just using. It's so weird how Pence and Braun are basically the same guy, and it's going about the same.
Speaking of Pence, do you see all these influencers from out of state saying, oh, this says Pence all over it? They're blaming Mike Pence for this.
Those guys don't listen to Pence. They don't talk to Pence. I mean, they may talk to him every so often. But
I don't think Pence is even in the country right now.
Nobody would enjoy dumping on Mark Pence, his brother, his little-known brother, Mike Pence, more than me. Mike Pence doesn't have anything to do with this. He's not in charge of anything or calling any shots. These guys just don't want to deal with it. The headache that they'll incur is not worth it. They have a super majority. The only way they can lose it is pissing people off en masse. And Rod Bray just said, I ain't doing it.
Did you see the report that Donald Trump was going to have a couple of them come to Washington?
And say what?
Right. They're like, by them saying no, we're not coming in, we're not voting, have they made the headache even bigger for themselves? Because now they're definitely on Trump's radar.
No, because I don't think they care. At least if they have 7 cells in their brain, they shouldn't care, because their constituents don't care. They're not for this. This is what Trump orbit, DC Drano, all these other influencers who don't live in our state who are threatening this and threatening that. The constituencies have not emerged in their districts that are for this. If that was there, they would do it. But the people, and this is why when people are like, I can't believe Rob is taking the stance he is. Because people, this is a great opportunity for the state of Indiana to see how little the public actually likes the Republicans. The people vote for Republicans because Democrats are so unelectable. They're so horrendous that they can't even be a part of the conversation. But people are not voting for Republicans because they like them. They're voting for them because they're
the lesser of two evils.
Right. And they're saying, we're not going to give you more power. We're not going to hand you more power. We're not passionate about it. You haven't earned it. The Republicans could get the people on their side by earning it, but that would involve taking on the special interest and the donors and the lobbyists, and they're not going to do it. So the easiest path for them is just say, we're not having the session.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. More fallout from the lack of a special session in Indiana. Guy Relford joins us from Monday Gun Day. We'll talk this afternoon.
Indy, stop using the fall to paint year after year. Do what Lynn did. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint. It's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Now, you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said they don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Robert Kirby says more and more customers are looking at Mitsubishi mini splits as a way to help heat and cool those smaller spaces.
So we've used them in all applications, whether it be barn dominiums, sunrooms, garages, she sheds, basements, home offices. Give us a call and see if it's a good option for you.
Just go to KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Right now at Tom Roush Lincoln, get a 2025 Lincoln Corsair for $4,000 off plus 0% APR. 2025 Lincoln Aviator from $5,000 off plus 0%. Or 2025 Lincoln Nautilus for $4,500 off, also 0% APR. So come get that new Lincoln at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fisher.
Corsair MSRP 51,720. Aviator MSRP 72,225. Nautilus MSRP 71,60. 0% APR for 48 months on qualifying Lincolns. Good through 12/1/2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Complete your magnificent holiday meal this year with a beautiful centerpiece from Gillespie Florists. Create warm memories for those at your picturesque holiday table. Gillespie Florist has been celebrating the holidays with Indiana families since 1960. Gillespie has single candle centerpieces starting at just $39.95. Choose from a variety of arrangements online at GillespieFlorist.com or call 273-1100. 273-1100. Gillespie Florists, for all the flowers in your life.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Senator Jim Banks is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Senator Jim Banks at 202-224-4814 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Join us for Downtown Indy Alliance's 63rd Annual Circle of Lights, presented by IBEW Local 481, Friday, November 28th, with live entertainment featuring acts from ISO's Yuletide Celebration, the Indianapolis Children's Choir, and Clayton Anderson. Go to downtownindy.org/holidays.
The Trump Epstein stuff is fascinating to me.
Yeah, so the House of Representatives, they're expected to vote tomorrow on the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which would compel the Justice Department to release all of the federal investigation files on Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, this is different than the discharge petition.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's all sorts of competing things now going
Correct.
on.
This one in the House then has to go to the Senate, and then Trump has to sign it.
Yeah. So, look, they have totally... So, Trump came out yesterday and was like, release all the Epstein stuff. And this is just fascinating to me about if you were to say, how could you have handled this in the worst possible way?
Well, didn't at one point over the weekend he tell Pam Bondi to start an investigation again?
Well, now he's saying it's all going to be Democrats that you're going to find. So do the investigation, and let's find out what Democrats... I think he said members of the media, I can't remember exactly who he said, were involved in all this. And it is just like you allow things... Some people need to hear this. When you have bad news and you don't get ahead of that story and tell your version of it in full disclosure, you allow things to take on a life of their own, and then anything becomes believable. Mm-hmm. Like if you have some horrible thing, especially if it potentially involves in some capacity child predators, pedophilia, child porn, child sex financiers, human sex trafficking, any of that stuff. Get ahead of it and get it all out there, whatever it is. And in the case of Trump, I still don't think anybody is out there thinking that Donald Trump was involved in trips to Epstein Island or, having sex with girls who are being trafficked or any of that. But when you repeatedly appear to go out of your way to deny the truth coming out or thwart the truth coming out, up to and including allegedly, which has still never been refuted, that they were calling lawmakers, Boebert and
Nancy Mace.
Mace, thank you.
In the Situation Room.
To get them to, just the other day, to not sign that or to remove their name off the discharge petition, people are going, why?
Yeah.
Look, if you were Trump and the only thing that ties you to Epstein is we had some business dealings, business relationships, I dealt with lots of shady people, it's easily explainable. And yes, it would be a bad hit for the day. Trump admits business relationship with Epstein. And then it's all done. But now you have allowed this thing to remain a news story based on your own opposition to this thing.
So people come to their own conclusions. When you don't fill in the blank,
right,
they will for you.
Right, because people are saying, why are you hiding this? If there's nothing there, it's horrible, you have to explain it. It doesn't make it right. Epstein had relationships with thousands of people.
Yeah, and you know what? Some of that is really interesting because he had some notable correspondence and topics. These are some very well-connected business people who were seeking Epstein's advice on dating and other topics that didn't have to do with business. Like, why would they turn to that guy?
Well, because I think
they know who he was.
Well, but I think weirdos attract weirdos, and I think that there's this whole thing about this guy's super rich and he's got all these connections. I mean, so there's a variety of reasons. Lots of people. I mean, the former First Lady of the United States took a photo with John Wayne Gacy. Yeah. Does anybody think Rosalind Carter was involved in burying the bodies in the crawl space? No. People run into, account with, have dealings with shady people all the time. But when you can't tell a coherent, consistent story and the story starts changing or new things start coming out, you're going to feed it and it's going to be so much worse.
Yeah, it does make people wonder, what is the truth then? Well, maybe more files will be released tomorrow after they vote.
I just think and now him going, oh, yeah, put it all out there. Well, why didn't you just do that from the beginning?
Right. I thought they did put it all out there. Remember they had all those influencers with the binders?
Yeah.
DC Drano was there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He was one of them. And they said there was more tranches coming. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Football is back, and so are great hairlines. We Grow Hair Indy has helped former local professional football players get back in the game with full natural hair. You don't have to play pro ball to get pro-level results. Hey, it's Rob, and I knew I picked the right team when I needed a Hail Mary for my hair. I called We Grow Hair Indy. Whether you're tailgating, coaching, or watching from the couch, do it with confidence. Trade the sidelines for a hairline. Get back in the game at We Grow Hair Indy. Schedule your free evaluation today at WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's WeGrowHairIndy.com or call 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. Enjoy being out and about this fall. Enjoy watching the games in person with your friends with confidence you haven't had in years. And you can do it with a trip to We Grow Hair Indy. 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
Is your home stressing you out? Why not sell it to us? We will buy any property in any condition.
We receive a tremendous amount of phone calls on that property. A lot of them are very aggravating. You're not going to buy it over the phone, so let's don't kick tires. Come and look, say yay or nay, and then we can both go on down the street. And so James did come, looked it over, we talked, chatted. James, he did a good job. Did what he said he was going to do.
Call Simple Quarters 317-900-HOME.
It's not just cancer care, it's the complete care you get at Hendricks.
And you can feel that spirit of excellence, trying to do what's best from a medical standpoint, but also trying to affect the patient and their family as you would a family member.
Hendricks Care is trying to meet the patient where they are. You know your body better than anyone else.
Do the cancer screening early.
An ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure.
Learn about health screenings at hendricks.org/cancer.
Truck drivers, the holiday rush is here.
Take advantage by becoming a Schneider driver. By driving for one of America's busiest carriers, you'll stay busy during the holiday season and throughout the new year. Plus, as a Schneider driver, you'll have access to top quality driver support and newer equipment spec'd with the latest safety and comfort features that drivers want. Don't wait. Get a jump on 2026 by exploring jobs in your area today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Approximately 40 minutes.
Taxes was feeling unwelcome. Now Taxes is an open door, literally, to new TurboTax stores. Meet our experts in person.
Hi, welcome in.
They're powered by smart tech and ready to do your taxes for you. Get real-time updates while you go about your day. Confident your taxes are done right. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. NYC opening soon. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Plumbing problems stink. The LD Smith Crew can handle anything. Call today for $50 off any plumbing repair, big or small.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
It's B Windows' biggest sale of the year. Get up to 68% off plus no interest, no payments for 24 months. Call now or go to bwindow.com.
Trust me.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A week for the windshield wipers and the umbrella. 48 degrees on Monument Circle under a mostly sunny sky. I'm John Herrick. This report is brought to you by Window Nation, and you're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. There are multiple chances for rain this week across Indiana.
The first one is coming on Tuesday morning, so enjoy the nice weather while it's here because rain is on its way this week.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says rain is also looking likely both Thursday into Friday, but he does not expect any severe weather with this. But later on...
Well, we are watching the end of the month for another big cold snap to come in, bring us much cooler temperatures, and who knows what else might come with that.
He says you'll want to watch out for snow around Thanksgiving time. The busy upcoming Thanksgiving travel schedule is why the FAA has lifted its flight reduction order at airports nationwide. A reduction in flights at dozens of major airports began a week ago to help address fatigue and staffing issues among air traffic controllers during the government shutdown. Travel editor Peter Greenberg says the highways will be more packed than usual Thanksgiving weekend.
Because of the government shutdown, a lot of people canceled their flight reservations, didn't want to go through that problem, and on trips of under 400 miles, they're packing everybody in the car and they're driving.
He says it might take up to 3 full days for the FAA flight schedule to get back to normal. The Boone County Prosecutor's Office says it will hold a press conference at 2 o'clock this afternoon to provide an update on the case involving a woman who was shot and killed earlier this month in Whitestown after entering the wrong home by mistake. Prosecutor Ken Eastwood postponed a planned update on Friday due to a family emergency. Terry Fry, that's the name of the Indiana National Guard soldier who died last Friday in a Boone County crash. Investigators are trying to figure out how that happened. 3 other National Guard soldiers were also injured in that. The Guard says Fry had been with them since March of 2020 and received both the National Defense Service Medal and Army Service Ribbon. The soldiers were traveling in a convoy from the Frankfort Armory to Camp Atterbury for training on a drill when the accident happened. The death of an infant found at Brookside Park in September has brought renewed attention to Indiana's safe haven law. Johnette Cruz reports.
This week, the Indiana State House will mark the 25th anniversary of the safe haven law, which provides a legal and anonymous option for parents in crisis to surrender their newborn baby. Linda Zanacco, founder of He Knows Your Name Ministry, was inspired to start the organization after the tragic discovery of a baby in a dumpster in 2009.
When I saw the breaking news story, my heart moved in a way of compassion for this child because they were saying baby Joe found in a dumpster wearing only a diaper.
Her organization Foundation has been dedicated to ensuring every abandoned child receives dignity and honor in death. Zanaco's ministry has buried 61 infants and is now focused on education. Jeanette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
SNAP benefits have been restored, but there's a complication. That story and more next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, the redistricting fight is now going national. Well, it always has been. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Well, Tony, on that front, the effort to redraw Indiana's congressional maps has stalled, leading President Trump to criticize top state Republicans. Jake McDaniel reports.
Trump's Truth Social post on Sunday said Governor Mike Braun is not working the way he should to secure votes for redistricting and suggested any Republican who votes against the measure should be primaried. Their decision came even after intense pressure from the White House, including 2 recent visits by Vice President J.D. Vance, and places Indiana at the center of a national battle over congressional seat control. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Now, Indiana Governor Mike Braun says he has since reached out to President Trump to tell him he's on Trump's side with the whole redistricting conversation. Braun says the senators are hiding behind closed doors and refusing to bring redistricting up for a vote. Millions of Americans now have to reapply for SNAP benefits. Fox's Jared Halpern explains why.
More than $102 million worth of fraudulent SNAP transactions were approved last year, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says, exposing loopholes of waste and abuse of the federal food stamp program.
There are vulnerable families in America that need this program that aren't getting it because of the fraud and the abuse that now we're going to work to fix.
Rollins says data from more than 24 states showed some recipients receiving benefits multiple times and others using benefits from deceased individuals. She is planning to have all SNAP recipients reapply for the program. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Graeter's Ice Cream has announced their new ice cream flavors that they released for the holidays.
Spirited Eggnog, Creme Brulee, and Cozy Hot Cocoa are new for this season. And Peppermint Stick's an old favorite. And our Black Raspberry Chip just rounds out the pack because if you know Graeter's, you know Black Raspberry Chip, so that makes it a part of a great gift.
Tim Philpott with Graeter's telling Wish TV you can find those flavors at Graeter's Scoop Shops in Broad Ripple, Carmel, and Fishers throughout the month of November. Men's college basketball Sunday, second-ranked Purdue throttling Akron 97-79. Indiana topped Incarnate Word 69-61, and Ohio State won a tight one over Notre Dame 64-63, while Butler fell to SMU 87-85. Women's college basketball, Indiana defeated Florida State 76-72. As for the number 2 Indiana Hoosier football team, they are 11-0 for the first time ever after dominating the Wisconsin Badgers on Saturday 31-7 in Bloomington. Jake McDaniel has that story as well.
Quarterback and Heisman candidate Fernando Mendoza was totally clutch, throwing for 299 yards and 4 touchdowns, even breaking the Hoosier single-season record with 30 passing touchdowns. Head coach Kurt Cignetti says the team looks forward to their break before facing their biggest rival.
I love our fans, and I can't say enough good things about them, and we feed off of their energy. I really think that us playing at home is at least a 14-point advantage.
The Hoosiers have a bye week next week before facing the Purdue Boilermakers for the Old Oaken Bucket game on the 28th this month. Kickoff at 7:30 Eastern. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm Sean Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 12:06. Here's Tony Katz today.
So if you want to release the Epstein files, release the Epstein files. Not going to anger me. You're going to make guys like me outrageously happy who have been calling for the release of the Epstein files the whole time. The real question is, why has President Trump changed his mind? Well, Tony, you see, it's all just a game of 4D chess that the president has been playing with these stupid Democrats, and you fell for it. Whatever anybody needs to tell themselves in order to go to sleep at night. That's not what happened. Tony Katz. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. Find everything going on at TonyKatz.com. Live streaming on the YouTubes, on Twitter X, on Facebook. Tony Katz Radio on Facebook. Tony Katz on Twitter X. And, of course, Tony Katz, YouTube.com/Tony Katz on the YouTubes. It wasn't 4D chess. That just isn't real. Just wasn't. The president made a mistake. That is all. That is all it is. And now he seems to be correcting course with conversations that include, we need investigations of Democrats who are in the Epstein files. Now, fine by me. I want to know what's in the files, and I want to know who was on the island. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein, do we call him financier or do we call him low-life, child-molesting scumbag? I'm going to go with the latter. I'm going to go with the latter, guys. He had the island, and people flew to the island of all different types, and people flew on his plane, and people knew him and connected to him because he had a tremendous amount of money, and he traveled in the circles. He had this woman, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in jail right now, and she procured young women for him and his friends. That's what happened. Don't tell me it's nothing, as President Trump did. Hey, this isn't a big deal. If it wasn't a big deal, why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail? It clearly was a big deal. And if it was a big deal, why didn't we hear anything about this when Joe Biden was president? Now the files need to be released, according to Democrats, because, well, Trump's in them and he's a pedophile. And if you want to play politics with the lives of children, those people are more than welcome to. Those are the scummiest people on planet Earth, and I have no place for them in my life or in my heart or in my soul. I don't care what actually happens to them. But it is clear that the Democratic Party is only and solely interested in playing politics with this. Everywhere you go, Trump's hiding because Trump's in the Epstein files. My God, everybody's in the Epstein files. Everybody knows they knew each other, and for a while they were friends. And then Trump threw him out of Mar-a-Lago. You decided because they knew each other, you could call the president a pedophile. Well, when you're of low rent, of low mind, when you are a pseudo-intellectual, and when kids don't matter to you, but power does, well, look at what you'll do. Oh, by the way, we should be clear, power matters. Power matters greatly. But you want power so bad you're willing to let children be abused and not look into it? My God. I can't imagine all the places there are in hell for those people. So Trump had said when this was a conversation that this wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal at all. It didn't matter. We're not focusing on the things that are important. And there are people on the political right who said, yeah, that's right. And we shouldn't be paying attention to this because Trump doesn't want us to pay attention to this. Those people were wrong. And their fellow radio hosts and their fellow writers and commentators and influencers and all that jazz, and they were just wrong. And they were wrong because what they did is took their marching orders and not said, what is it that matters? Of course it matters. Who was involved with abusing children? Doesn't matter their political party. Doesn't matter their title. It doesn't matter the amount of money they have. Doesn't matter whose daddy they are or who is their dad. What matters is if they were abusing children, they go to jail. You would think that this would be the one subject that we as Americans could somehow get behind, all of us. Nope, we screwed this one up too. We had to be political about something that is just so rational. President Trump's take on this of why are we paying attention to this was wrong. It was a very rare bad political instinct from President Trump. I know some people are going to get angry with me for saying so, but that makes no difference. It's still true. He was just wrong. That's all. He wasn't, as I see it, trying to protect himself. He knows that anything involving Jeffrey Epstein is somehow going to bring him up, but it's going to bring up a lot of people. I bet you didn't know that it was going to bring up Plaskett You're like, Tony, I'm sorry, did you just say Plaskett? Oh, yes. I'm talking about Delegate Stacey Plaskett. She is from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Is she in the Epstein files? I don't know. You know what I do know? As the reporting comes to the New York Post via the Washington Post, Delegate Stacey Plaskett, during a 2019 House Oversight Committee hearing, where Michael Cohen, remember the former fixer for Trump? He was testifying this about Stormy Daniels. She is getting notes on her phone. She's getting messages on her phone as this is happening. Who are the messages from? Jeffrey Epstein. The representative, the delegate, because it's U.S. Virgin Islands, not a state. The delegate, who is a Democrat, was getting messages in real time from child abuser Jeffrey Epstein. Tell me more, Democrats, about how upset you are about all this, about how ugly Jeffrey Epstein is and anybody connected to him. She was getting texts as it was happening to try and help her guide the questioning. If you're texting with Jeffrey Epstein in 2019, there's no level of low that is low enough. And as far as I'm concerned, she's got to go. There are a couple of people who got to be removed from the House. I do not know what Speaker Johnson is waiting on. Jeffrey Epstein? You're getting your questions from him? This is just one of many, many stories regarding Jeffrey Epstein. For example, this is the story about Larry Summers. Larry Summers was part of the Clinton years. And Larry Summers had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein up until his death. And according to flight logs, as reported by the New York Post, he was on the jet 4 times, including a flight in 2005 to the capital of St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay. Now the question is, what did you do with children? If you were on the island, I want answers to the questions. These are the only things that matter. What, Larry Summers is somehow immune because he's a Democrat? Screw him! And all of those who want to somehow defend him. We can't be those people. We cannot be those people. But the question is, why is it now that Donald Trump is saying, we need more Epstein documents. We need to make this happen. We need to show everything writing. This is another Russia scam with all arrows pointing to the Democrats. He put this out on Truth Social. Records show that these men and many others spent large portions of their life with Epstein on his island. Stay tuned. Now, I am a believer that we should release everything possible. Ed Morrissey, who is a regular guest on this show, made a good observation, and one that you would agree with, that there are people listed in these files that have done absolutely nothing wrong. And if you start sharing names, they're now guilty by association, even if they did nothing wrong. Where do they go for a redress? You've basically said you're connected to Jeffrey Epstein. You basically told these people that they are, guilty of some level of very obscene impropriety. Where do they go with their very, very real grievance? You can't just name every name. Some people did absolutely nothing wrong. So we're clear. And we know this to be true, and that includes Republicans, and that includes Democrats. But I want to release everything that can be released. Every name that can be released. Of course we should. And if you think that this is the president playing 4D chess, you're more than welcome to. But that's a level of idol worship that I don't play in. The president is not a fool. But he is human, to the shock of some. And he does make mistakes from time to time. screaming that the Epstein files didn't matter, that Epstein didn't matter, that it was all a distraction, that it was a hoax, was a mistake. And I would like to see all those people who scream that it's a hoax admit that that tact was the wrong tact. And then I want them to turn to the Democratic Party and say, okay, here it is. Now, what are we going to do about Larry Summers, and what are we going to do about Delegate Plaskett? Epstein is the most horrible human being to have ever lived. We might very well agree with that. And Delegate Plaskett, who knew he was horrible then, was getting text messages from him so she could go after Trump. So, you know, Epstein's terrible unless he can help you get Trump, in which case he's fine. That's one hell of a standard, political left. I am tired of having to direct the band here when they can't even figure out how to pick up their instruments. Do you not know how to move this story? This was the move that should have happened months ago. But we're here. We're here now with a very, very interesting conversation.